First down for the Eddies.
Yeah, he's a heady quarterback. I always hate to see a quarterback that ends up turning the ball over because everybody looks at them to make all the plays, and he's done a nice job. He's been under a lot of pressure from the defenses all year long, and I think he's come through it pretty well.
1st and 10.
First down of the ball game for either team.
Amazing. 2:16 remaining. Hartley back to pass, looks out into the flat, and it got batted down. Incomplete. I'm always amazed at how the big quarterbacks always get passes batted down, guys.
Well, I think, 77 is a big kid. Who is that? That is LeBrec, and they don't list his size, but he's a pretty big kid.
He's a big roach.
And I think that nothing worse. And he's getting penetration almost every play.
Yeah.
Which has kind of shut down the inside running game.
They've put him inside in one of the A gaps and moving him around. He's outside now.
2nd and 10. Hartley back to pass, throws it out, and that'll be Blanchard off the fingertips, incomplete. They tried to run that same play again, it looked like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I don't know if Blanchard mistimed it. It was off his fingertips, and I think now he wishes he jumped for it. I think he wasn't quite sure, and it just was out of his reach. So this is a big play here. It is a 4-down zone, but they need to get up. They need to get half of it.
3rd and 10. 2:10 remaining in the first quarter. Edward Little is at the Windham 17-yard line. Hartley back to pass, throws out again into the flat. It's complete to Bell, but it's only going to gain 1 as he had to dive for it. And again, they throw the pass into the same spot 3 straight times and haven't had a lot of luck with it. It's going to set up 4th down.
Yeah, I think Hartley hurried that one a little bit more than he needed to. But again, somebody's breaking through on every single play. That time was one of the linebackers, but there's somebody in his face every play. And trust me, as a quarterback, everybody thinks it's easy with somebody in your face to make sure you find the receiver and hit him. It's not that easy.
Well, he's gone empty the last 2 times,
4th
which
down.
takes away a block.
That's going to be intercepted. That's going to be intercepted by Hauser. Hauser's going to get down the sidelines, and he's going to continue to stay on the sidelines. And if he stays in bounds, he does not, however. He's going to be pushed out of bounds at the 48-yard line. No flags. And the turnover bugaboo continues with the Edward Little Red Eddies, missing out on an opportunity there in the red zone. And Windham gets a chance now in EL territory with 1:23 remaining in the first quarter. No score, but Windham gets a little shot in the arm thanks to the defense.
That looks like a little bit of a miscommunication with Hartley and Blanchard. Hartley went right to Blanchard. Oh, it's coming back. Because I think he expected a little different pattern. And again, he got hit right in the midsection as he let it go. So
that was a 45-yard interception return. Is going to be taken back, nullified.
That's tough. That's really tough.
Yep.
So it looks like it's going to be half the distance.
So not quite the shot in the arm that they were looking for, but still, they did stop the red zone attack by
minus 20, Coach. Minus 19, minus 18. Those are the spots that Windham is taking the ball over.
Coach Perkins called the timeout and wants to go out. I just settle his team down. They may be too excited to get themselves back in the win column after losing 2 in a row and maybe playing a little tight. And Mike, it seems to me in the games we've seen them play, they've run the ball much more than they've thrown it, but they haven't run the ball, one time tonight?
Yeah.
They've thrown it the others.
Yeah, they got stuffed. They got stuffed inside a couple of times early. Yeah. But again, it's tough.
Pretty easy to get discouraged.
Yep.
Blanchard and Gibson.
Yep.
No. And Medina will kick it off. Well, that is number 18. That is
Race
Gerard.
Bouchard. Oh, I'm sorry.
And that will be Gerard who picks it up at the 15-yard line. He's going to cut it up towards the middle. He's going to run over to the left side of the field, doing a lot of east-west running here, breaks it down the sidelines, and he's going to get down to the 35-yard line. He ran about 50 yards to gain about 15.
Well,
I got about a 20-yard return.
If he gets up that sideline, it's going to be a big one. So Guys are covering the kick tend to, even though you tell them 100 times, stay spread out.
Yep.
They tend to gravitate towards the ball, and
Run in your lanes, run in your lanes, run in your lanes.
if you can cut it against that, you could have a big gainer.
36-yard line, 1st and 10, Edward Little.
1st and 10 EL, 22.9 seconds remaining in the first quarter, 7-0. Windham leads Edward Little here on the Central Maine Community College Hammond Lumber Game of the Week. Hartley in the shotgun. He'll be back at the 31. Ball's at the 36. Hartley back to pass, looks out to his right. That's complete to Gibson at the 46-yard line, but you get another flag down. And I assume that's going to be a holding, and it is.
Yeah, they just can't get a break, and they almost looks to me like they've forsaken the run game, Mike.
Yep, they have.
Maybe they goes out, they just don't feel, and didn't we say that Max Bell you thought was being tended to by the trainer?
Yep.
That's their number 2 running back, at least according to what they started with tonight. So that's not good news. Yeah, he's really
got something going on with his left leg, as I see it over here. He's kind of trying to get that thing stretched out.
I don't know if it's cramps. Sometimes you get a cramp, but I can't see what it is. But he's definitely looks like he's hobbled up pretty well right now.
11.5 seconds remaining here in the first quarter, and I don't know if they're going to rush to run a play here. 8 seconds, 7 seconds, 6 seconds, 5 seconds, and no, I don't think they're going to rush to run a play here. 2 seconds, 1 second, and they do get it off before the end of the quarter. Hartley back to pass, has a man, it's Blanchard. He catches it at the 30, at the 25, out to the 30, and out to the 34-yard line. Big gain there, 13. We will end the first quarter. Central Maine Community College Hammond Lumber Game of the Week. Wyndham leads Edward Little. You're listening on Maine's Big Z, 105.5 AM 1240, video stream, mbr.org.
You know, Mike, Hartley throws the ball pretty well.
Yes, he does.
And I think that if they had a little semblance of a running attack or a little bit more time for him, he throws the ball very well. And they might very well be able to move the ball a little better. So,
you know, that's what you're talking about, Dave, about having a running game. They have, I wouldn't be surprised if he throws 30 passes tonight.
Oh, the way he's going, he's already thrown at least 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, you know, having been a quarterback, you know, eventually you could get a lot of, you know, good yardage, but, you know, you're setting yourself up for a turnover.
We'll try that again. Attention with athletes. Winter sports are starting on November 21st.
Coach Dave Wing, Coach Mike Haley, Matty Boutwell on the call with you here on Maine's Big Z, 105.5 and AM 1240. Online at mainsbigz.com if you're looking for audio. If you're looking for video, go to the mbr.org Facebook page. It's on YouTube. Edward Little and Wyndham. Central Maine Community College Hammond Lumber Game of the Week, 7-0. Wyndham with the lead. 2nd and 14. Hartley back to pass at the start of the second quarter. Now he's going to tuck it and run, and he's going to take a shot up to the 36-yard line.
Caught from behind.
Gain of 4. There was a lot of shuffling there, like a lot of everybody's got that little wiggle.
Yep.
Coach Haley, you notice that everybody's added that wiggle? I think they all think they're playing Madden. Even the big guys have the little wiggle.
I think what happened there, 2 of the receivers in the same area, and they were covered, so I don't think he had anywhere to go.
Good backside pursuit.
75-yard touchdown pass is the difference in this one. Leslie,
We're empty again. That means no blockers to pick up anybody that gets through.
3rd and 10 out to the right side. That's complete to Gibson, and
Oh.
I don't think they're going to give him the spot,
Wow,
guys. That's a tough spot.
That's a horrible spot. And now he's already thrown it in, so now what are you going to do?
I would probably just have Hartley just run forward, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to have him hurry up. Quarterback sneak, and he's going to fall forward, and that should be enough. And the side judge moves it up to the 47-yard line for a first down. So good play there by Edward Little. They made the decision right away. How many times do you see that where they take a second, they diddle, they dawdle, they take the timeout, and then the defense gets set?
Sure.
In this case, they hurry up to the line.
Yeah.
They use Big Hartley to fall forward, and you get the first down.
That was a good strategy. No, what I meant by what are you going to do now? I was going to say, now that they've already tossed the ball in, you can ask for a
Can't
measurement.
ask for a measurement.
1st and 10 at the EL 47. Hartley under
You're going to
pressure.
get caught from behind again.
He's going to stop, and I think he's going to fall forward to about the 49-yard line, and he's going to stay upright, which is pretty impressive. That'll be a gain of 2, but it's going to be a hard-fought gain of 2. That'll be one of those gains of 2 that is really made better later on in the cold tub, probably.
That's one of those complaints that Coach Haley and I have often had is if the officials aren't sure about exactly where it is, leave it where it ended so
Take the
that you
chains
can
out
take
and
a
bring
chain
it in and mark it.
But once they toss it in,
There's no.
it's just they're eyeballing it
That's
now.
right.
They have no idea.
Edward Little almost at midfield. That's about the 49.5-yard line.
Nice
2nd
little-
and 8.
Nice little drive.
9:56 remaining in the first half. That pass is going to be flared out to the right side. That'll be complete to Pelletier, and he's going to get down to the 44-yard line.
Yeah, and again, well conceived. I think looks like EL has some strategy here. They know that they're going to be coming hard. Just get out. It's almost like a screen pass. It's just like a little slip screen, if you will, to the running back.
3rd and 3, 9:29 remaining in the first half. 7-0 Windham. Matt Boutwell, Dave Wing, Mike Haley on the call with you. Miles Sullivan keeping us back on the air at the Gleason Media Palatial Estate Studios in beautiful Auburn, Maine. Live on the corner of Center and Bradman, of course. 3rd and 3. Hartley's going to hand it off to Pelletier. He's going to slide forward and shuffle, and he's going to take that pile all the way down to the 42-yard line. It looks like where the side judge will mark him, and that will be about enough for a first down. He had to get to the 43. He got to the 42.
Nice adjustment. There was a little bit of leakage. I think he slid to the right to get around it and picked up the first down. Excellent job picking that up.
1st and 10 for Edward Little. Nice drive for them. He now is finishing it off. They've had struggles with that for the last couple of weeks. Under 9 minutes remaining in the first half. Hartley back to pass.
Same play to the other
Out
side.
left side, and he's going to get some running room down the sidelines and out to the 34-yard line. That was a heck of a double tackle there. You hit him high, I'll hit him low. That was Anthony Kilgallen who was on there.
2 nice plays by Pelletier, and I think he cut it right on the quad.
Yep.
Look at him. He's limping off.
Well, that was quite a shot he took
was a
there.
vicious shot. So, again, the Elk, I swear they can't get a break.
Noah Yarnovich will come in now, the senior.
2nd and 2.
I would really like to see them start using Terrell Thomas. He's a really athletic tight end, but you don't see a lot of plays for the tight ends in this offense.
Teams tend to overlook the tight end.
Yes, they do.
Two
Our
receivers
seam pattern, huh?
Two receivers to the right, one to the left. Handoff up the middle is not going to gain much, if anything. And that was Yarnovich. And no gain, so 3rd and 3.
Brought down by Jacobson.
That was Yarnovich, by the way, regardless of what you just heard the PA guy say. As
We were all
Pelletier's on
over
the
it.
sideline.
We were all over it.
We are actually tracking this evening. It's very exciting. I want to thank Tyler Farnham up on the camera tonight. Of course, if you watch this game, just go to the MBR.org Facebook page. I should probably share that on the Z Facebook page, too. That might be a good idea, you know, so people can see that. I just thought of that, of course, while I'm on the air. Always good to think of these things afterwards. Going to have a measurement here.
After horses out of the barn, is that what you're saying?
Right. We give him a spot down to the 31.
It's like a first down to me.
Haley's usually right on those. There it is.
Yeah, right, he split that thing like
Not
a
by
Sunday
much.
ham.
But it's a first down.
But notice the difference in how they handled that one, Matty. That's where he was down. The back judge put his hand right on the ball. This is where it is, and then they measured.
It's very strange. Versus some games you go to, they measure everything, even the ones that are obvious, and then some games, like, they don't measure the ones that you would expect them to.
The game last week.
Two receivers to the right, one to the left. Hartley, back to pass, looking, pump fakes, throws it deep. He has a man in the end zone. Gibson can't hang on. It was batted away. Incomplete.
Wow.
What
Oh,
a nice
boy.
play there on the defensive side of things by Nazari Henderson to bat that away.
Yeah, and Hartley was under tremendous pressure. He ran up a little bit, and then he let it go, and I think that pressure just threw the timing off just a little bit because he was open.
I think it also caused him to pop that ball up a little bit more
Yes.
than he thought.
Yep.
So the defensive
That was the
backs are
13th
back
play
there.
of the drive.
Wow.
It's pretty impressive. Don't get many drives that long. That number.
8:16 remaining in the first half. 7-0 Windham. Edward Little driving. 2nd and 10 at the Windham 31. Hartley back to pass, looking out. He's going to get Yarnovich out of the flat. Yarnovich is going to get down the sidelines, down to the 25-yard line, and you're going to have a late flag. And that looks like it's going to be a
Face mask.
We'll see if it's of the 5 or 15-yard variety.
You know, it's funny. I don't like the choice. I think if it's a face mask, it's a face mask. But that's just me.
See, I don't agree. I've never agreed with that because there's times where you brush a hand on the face
No,
mask
it's
and it's
true.
15 yards.
Yeah. Then they shouldn't call it.
And then
if
there's
it's-
times where you yank the guy's head off and it's still 15 yards. So, you know, I understand why they did that in the NFL. I mean, they've pretty much done everything like that. But at this level, I like the fact it's still 15.
It's a 15-yarder right there.
I will say that EL is stuck with what's been working for them. You know, they've run that play, 6 times now?
Right.
And it's worked every time.
Yep.
I'll take that.
Ball's on the Windham 14-yard line. It's 1st and 10 for Edward Little. 8 minutes, and the clock is ticking here in the first half. Windham leads 7-0. EL looking to get on the board. Hartley looking around, under pressure, avoids a man. He's going to run it out to the outside himself, and he's just going to get back to the line of scrimmage. He was under all sorts of pressure. Grant Jacobson, and he was finally finished off by Nate Watson right at the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, he's got to go off because his helmet came off.
That's always
Again,
the best.
I don't happen to agree with that one. Now, you're either going to have to call a timeout or bring in your second quarterback.
Yep.
When you're down in here and a chance to score, I don't like that.
Especially when you're running the spread.
He wasn't hurt.
It'd be a little different if you had that guy underneath the center. But now he's got to complete the pass from the center. He's got to catch it.
Here's Gerard, and he's just going to run it
He's gonna
himself
run it,
off
yep.
the snap. And
Nice.
a nice little change of pace there inside the 10 down to about the 9. Be a gain of 5 and make it 3rd and 5 with 7 minutes remaining here in the first half. 7-0 Windham.
He's pretty quick.
Yes, he was.
He did not mess around. There was a lot. You know how sometimes the quarterback
stay
does
in.
that pause real quick before they start going? He got it, and he just went right up.
Oh,
the
yeah,
field.
he knew what he was doing.
Blake Hauser on the tackle.
And he's actually going to stay in there. 3rd
Yeah.
and 5.
Gonna do it
Same
again.
play.
And he's going to run out to the right. Pelletier's going to get a block, and nothing's going to happen there. But then you're going to have a shot. Looked like that was almost out of bounds.
Yeah,
but
it
I
was.
guess it was not, or at least the flag was not thrown there. So it'll be 4th and 5 from the 9.
I got to be honest with you, Mike. I'm not sure as I understand that one. It was great for once, but
Yeah.
was there anybody that didn't know he was going to run it that time?
I would have
You would have bet on it?
guessed my bottom dollar he'd be running.
Officials are stopping play here for a second.
I mean, he hadn't loosened his arm. He hadn't done anything. What do we got
No.
here?
6:15 remaining in the first half. It's 4th and 5 at the 8 for Edward Little. How many plays on this drive so far, Coach? You said it was 13 a little bit ago. I feel like there's been 10 since then.
13, 16 play drive.
Whew.
Changing the clock.
I'll tell you what, it'd be a rough time if you got a 16-play drive and didn't score.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
Well,
Especially
it's
with this Windham offense, which has already scored from 75 yards out.
4th and 7, too.
They've started on their own 35.
They added 10 seconds onto the clock, and now EL's taking a timeout.
Timeout EL.
Edward Little's going to take a timeout. We will take a timeout as well on the radio side of things. Windham leads Edward Little 7-0. It's the Central Maine Community College Hammond Lumber Game of the Week. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Yeah, that I think running the substitute quarterback the second time, Mike,
Yeah.
when Hartley wasn't hurt, whether he was going to run or throw or even hand off, what it does, it gives you all those options. I think when the backup quarterback, unless your team is way thinking ahead and has already warmed him up a little bit, he comes in cold and everybody knows he's probably not going to throw it.
Yeah, it would certainly be a run either by him or him handing off to somebody else. I doubt that he'd be throwing under those conditions.
Welcome back to Central Maine Community College Hammond Lumber Game of the Week. Those of you joining us on the video, we haven't gone anywhere. Those of you joining us on the radio, welcome back. 4th and 5 here for Edward Little. 4th and 6 for Edward Little. They've got to get down to the 2 for a first down. They're at the 8.
Option maybe?
Hartley back to pass, looking, has time, flushes out to the right, Now he's in trouble, and he's going to have to try and get it himself, and he is not going to get it. He's going to be about a yard shy of the first down.
Out of
A
bounds.
17-play drive stops at the 5-yard line. That will kill some clock. but
Boy,
it
it's
will
close.
Also kill some hope. Well, we'll see how they do
Please
it.
tell me they didn't toss it back
They
in.
did.
They
They
did.
did.
Picked it up.
I think, well, they marked him at the 5, and he had to get to the 3, so it'll be 1st and 10 from the 5 for Windham. They'll be going left to right across your radio dial with 6:17 remaining here in the first half. They lead 7-0. That is a long drive to come up empty on.
Oh, you aren't kidding.
Well, it is when the other team strikes for a 75-yarder on one play. That's for sure.
Kind of reminds you of that game from last night with Miami and Cincinnati, where Miami got that early touchdown, but Cincinnati just kind of went down the field and then really wasn't able to finish them off. They could just kick a bunch of field goals, but Miami wasn't able to get anything the rest of the game. We'll see if that holds true here for Windham. Wyndham's lost 2 in a row. They're looking to make sure that it's not 3. Leslie hands it off, and that is going to be up to the 8-yard
Oh,
line. That'll
late
be
hit there.
a gain of 3. No flag on that
No
play.
flag.
Blake Hauser on the run off the right tackle.
He didn't like it either.
No, I know he didn't. I don't blame him.
I don't think anybody likes to get hit, especially after the play. I mean, frankly, I would prefer not to get hit during the play.
Well, that's what makes you a good
didn't
running
play.
back. You don't like to get hit. You want to run.
You just want to run by them or over them. 5:40 remaining in the first half. Clock is ticking. Procter & Gamble halftime show coming up. We'll try to get you scores from around the area. All sorts of games tonight. Leslie's going to keep it himself. He's going to wiggle and giggle out to the 10, and he's going to get torn down there. Gibson and Blanchard will team up on the tackle, and it will be 3rd and 5.
Does seem to me I've had a couple fullbacks through the years that I swear once they broke through the line, looked for contact.
Yeah. Oh, I played with 2 or 3 of those kind of guys. Billy Chad, Charlie Belisle.
Charlie, I know.
They were headhunters.
I played a little bit with Charlie Belisle too.
They like to hit. They like the contact.
Matt Boutwell, Dave Wing, Mike Haley with you here. And Leslie's going to keep it himself, and he is going to go nowhere. That was a great job by the Edward Little defense.
Big play. Going to force a kick.
Ian Brushwine on that tackle. That was really good defense right there to stay home and not get fooled by anything. And coming off of that drive, which was, 17-play drive, you certainly don't want to give up anything. So now you get to keep the field position battle. Blanchard's going to camp back at the 43-yard line. You hope here for a bad kick or maybe a block down 7-0. Edward Little trails
I'd go for the block right now and tell that deep man to catch the football. Don't let it hit the ground.
Each squad has had a chance.
Move up is right.
Move up. So awfully deep.
Hauser's kick.
Try to set up a return.
It's going to be fielded at the 36.
Oh, on the move.
They do have one.
And Blanchard's going to cut back in inside the 25 and down inside the 20, down to the 19-yard line. I see no flags. That would be a 17-yard return. 4:01 remaining in the first half. 7-0. Windham. Edward Little on the move again. Once again with tremendous field position. This will be the 3rd trip to the Windham red zone. So far, they've come up empty.
Matty, this is the second kick play that we've had no penalty flags. That's a miracle, isn't it?
I want to write to someone. I want to say thank you.
We want to see a video of that.
I want to thank the Academy. And a whole 9 yards.
Oh, looks like Bell as well. Boy, he's limping. I think he's got cramps, and he's trying to play through it, but that's ugly.
A night like this,
Always.
you're
tough.
apt to cramp up.
4:01 remaining in the first half. 7-0. Wyndham leads Edward Little in the Central Maine Community College Hammond Lumber game of the week. Hartley back to pass, throws it out into the flat. That's going to be complete to Blanchard. He runs it upfield inside the 15. Down to the 15.
Flats are open all night long.
They've been wide open.
Gain of 6.
It also sets up a little curl and out and up. So
Yep,
we'll
it
see.
does.
They'll call it 2nd and 5. It's kind of like 2nd and a long.
Yeah,
4.
when the people hear it over the loudspeaker, it goes over the radio. It's hard to contradict
and I
them.
don't want to be the guy that's like arguing with that
No,
guy.
Come on now, it's 4.5. It's 4.5. Come on
Yeah,
now.
I don't want to be like 4 3/4. 3:25 remaining in the first half. 7-0 Wyndham. Edward Little driving there at the Wyndham 15-yard line. Hartley in the shotgun, back to pass, under pressure. Continues to stay up, and he's going to get tracked down from
Albrecht
behind.
again.
And once again, number 77, Hunter Knowlton, that was Justin Lebrecht, who's already had a couple of big plays on the defensive side for Windham, gets another one. And Hartley was under pressure and got chased down from behind by Lebrecht.
Right away. You know, Matty, we're down under 3 minutes now. Really, Yale needs to score. I think for their confidence for the second half, they need to punch one in here. And this is a 4-down zone, certainly.
Be interested to see if they hit the flat again. They got trips out
over
to the
here.
left. I did that right. I did trips. Yeah, that's good. Finally, back to pass. It'll be Gibson. He's going to get a running start, and he's going to
ball.
And Wyndham's going to
got it.
And that will be another Edward Little turnover.
Oh, boy.
And they've once again looked the gift horse in the mouth and said, no, thank you. We don't want what you're offering. 1st and 10 for Windham at the 19-yard line.
It's exactly the things that we've harped on since we started broadcasting games.
Yep.
Penalties, turnovers, mistakes.
Yep.
More teams lose high school football games, I swear, than win them.
2:35 remaining in the first half, 7-0 Windham. They're lucky they're at that point. And Edward Little, once again, I don't know if a black cat ran in front of them. I don't know if one of them
in front of the bus, maybe? On the way
down?
down?
Mirror, I'm not really sure. Maybe they did all of it, you know. I'm not really sure. But
Wyndham's continuing their poor field position. 19-yard line this time.
They send Hauser in motion. Leslie, empty backfield, throws it out. That'll be Hauser out in the flat. And he's going to get up to the 20-yard line, gain of 1.
Nice pursuit.
Gain of 1.
Nice pursuit.
Edward Little's defense,
yeah,
you can't complain about what they've done. Outside of the 75-yarder, they've done everything you could ask.
And even that, you know, I think they were all there. He just split the tacklers and ran all the way. I think Yale's defense has been solid. And their offense has moved the ball. I think without a running back that hasn't appeared yet, I think they've done very well to move the ball.
Max Bell is a big play guy, and when he's on the bench, that definitely takes your options down. Plus, you got Pelletier on the sidelines as well. That pass is going to be complete, and a nice move there to evade the tackler by number 13 for Windham. That
close
is
to a first down.
Garrett Peoples. Nice play by him, and nice spin move to move the other way, and that's going to move the chains for a first down.
Boy, it was much closer than what they just made it look when they tossed the ball in. I think it was measurement time on that one, but hate to harp on that.
1:40 remaining. 2 timeouts remaining for Windham here. Leslie back to pass, throws, and that's going to be incomplete. Dangerous pass there. That was intended for number 88, Hunter Coffin. 1:34 remaining in the first half. 7-0 Windham over Edward Little.
Really, this has been kind of a mistake, Phil, but a good first half.
You know, I think that's the first down that Windham has got this half. I'll have to check it closely, but I believe...
Didn't they have the one in the pass up towards the EL bench where he just made it? Maybe not.
It was so long ago.
Yeah, it's true.
No kidding.
EL's had the ball this whole half.
So long ago.
And they're down 7-0.
1:34 remaining in the first half. 7-0 Windham over Edward Little. Leslie back to pass on second down, avoids a tackler, throws. He has a man
wide open.
And he's going to catch it.
Wide open.
That is going to be Blake Hauser.
Holy
touchdown, mackerel. Windham, 70 yards.
When
somebody gets behind the defense like that.
Well, what happened was when Leslie
starts running,
he started to run. The cornerback came up wide open. You got to stay back. True, he could run for it, but you can't give up the long bomb.
When you have a situation like that with a running quarterback, especially dual threat, especially at this level, it's killer.
Oh, yeah,
that's
no
exactly
question.
What happened there.
You know what? In any level.
Right.
If they can really run.
2 big plays.
Medina, can't miss him. He's got these Slimer green shoes, and instead the snap is bad, so Hauser's going to throw that out into the flat, intended for Watson, but that'll fall incomplete, so the point fails. 1:22 remaining in the first half, 13-0 Windham. It's the Central Maine Community College Hammond Lumber Game of the Week. We'll take a 30-second break, and we'll be right back on the radio side.
I think there's nothing worse, Coach, than the cornerback who the receiver stops. Leslie beats the contain. He starts up the field a little bit, and you come charging up saying, oh, I can't let him run down the field, and suddenly on the run, he throws it to the receiver that just ran by you.
What's the golden
And
rule?
it's a touchdown. Nobody deeper than you.
Nobody gets deeper than you. Doesn't
So-
matter what anything else is happening on the field. You can't let a man behind you.
You could very well run with that guy.
Yeah.
Just once he passes the line of scrimmage, you can come up and tackle him now.
Then,
But
you're going to go. But
you're
you
better
have
off.
to stay back.
You're better off letting him run.
Again, another golden rule to a secondary person. You are a pass defender first and a run defender second.
Welcome back.
Okay? You have to play that.
Minute 22 remaining in the first half. Mike Haley, Dave Wing, Matty Boutwell with you here. 13-0 Windham. Edward Little's played gamely. If you looked at the stats, you'd think it was tied. But a 75-yard touchdown pass and a 70-yard touchdown pass for Windham have been the difference so far. 13-0 with a minute 22 remaining in the first half.
Windham does have one first down in the second half. The first half.
Kick is away. That's going to be fielded at the 10.
10.
That'll be Blanchard. Out to the 20, out to the 25, cuts it upfield, and gets out to the 30-yard line. With a minute 15 remaining in the first half, if you're Edward Little here, big drive, but you also don't want to commit a mistake here and compound what's happened here in the first half. You've already had a couple of turnovers, and you definitely don't want one right before the end of the half here because Windham will be getting the ball to start the second half. At the same time, you don't want to waste the possession. It's kind of a precarious position for the
Yeah,
Eddies.
the saying, discretion being the better part of valor, you don't want to do anything foolish here. Run the clock out and go in at half and then come out ready to go in the second.
Defense so far, outside of the two breakdowns, is done pretty well.
Very well, I think.
Yes, they have.
Meanwhile, this young Windham squad is just taking what Edward Little has given them so far and taken it gladly. They have not returned it by any means.
Playing too deep, looking for the bomb.
Hartley back to pass, throws, and
Way over
incomplete. Was over everything, and number 15, Xavier Weaver, was looking for the penalty. He was not getting it.
Yeah, again, I guess I'd rather you run out the clock and regroup. You don't want to give up something where, I mean, they got a great kicker. You throw an interception here, and they run one first down and kick a field goal. Now you're down 3 scores.
And you also don't want to give up the old pick six.
Oh
or
boy,
the defensive touchdown. That's a backbreaker.
Those safeties are 15 yards deep.
and dropping.
Hartley back to pass, completed to Gibson at the 39, to the 40. Now he's going to cut it upfield. Swings it down to the 45, over to the 46. It'll be a first down. Gain of
16,
yards?
17.
Stop the clock until they set the chains.
Minute 1 remaining here in the first half. Edward Little has 1 timeout remaining. Wyndham has 2. 13-0 Wyndham over EL in the Central Maine Community College Hammond Lumber game of the week. No huddle for Edward Little here. Wearing the pink socks tonight in honor of the Dempsey Challenge. And they stop the clock with 57.4 seconds remaining. And now they restart it. Hartley in the pistol. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Hartley looking left. Throws, and that is going to be complete. And Blanchard, instead of getting out of bounds, is going to cut upfield, and he's going to be a yard shy.
Oh, they got a penalty.
Late flag.
I think that's a 15-yarder.
Blanchard lost his helmet. I don't know what's going on. 42.4 seconds remaining here in the first half. And going to be interesting to see what happens here.
I think it's a 15-yarder. I think somebody's hurt from Windham.
Somebody is hurt, and everybody takes a knee here. Not sure who's on the ground. And Windham has been bitten by the injury bug as much as anybody. Of course, Edward Little's been bitten by the injury bug too. So we will try to figure out who it is. We'll take a break, and we will come back. 13-0. Windham leads Edward Little. It's the Central Maine Community College Hammond Lumber game of the week. 42.4 seconds remaining here in the first half. We will be right back on the radio side of things. Stick with us on the video.
You know, Mike, again, if he goes out of bounds, the clock stops, and although he wouldn't have got the 15-yard penalty, so take your pick. But, you know, I would always advise him, catch the ball, get upfield. When you see you hemmed in, get out of bounds.
Out of bounds.
It saves a timeout, and you live to play another one.
Live to play another day.
This is the Mechanics Savings Bank broadcast booth. Video stream presented by OA. Ortho Access open 6 days a week now. Find them online at orthoaccess.com.
The problem, Mike, with a
Welcome
team
back.
with the team standing up on the sideline, Matty, he couldn't really see what happened. There was a play on the sideline, and
right in front of the Windham bench.
yeah, right in front of the bench, just beyond midfield, and the player down. We don't have a number, can't even speculate. And Blanchard turned inside. We both said like to see him go out of bounds, but he turned inside and got a 15-yard penalty. So it takes them down to the 30-yard line. So
it's either a late hit or a face mask.
I'm going to guess face mask because the helmet came off.
It definitely came off.
Yeah.
Now, he doesn't have to come off the field after this because there's been such a long stoppage in play, right?
I think he has to come back.
I think he has to go out for one play.
Although this is an official's timeout. I don't know. That's a good question.
My other question is, what's going to stop somebody from ripping off somebody's helmet for the 15-yard penalty to force them out of the game?
Oh, I know.
That could be kind of a
especially when they're a player like Blanchard, no question.
There's all sorts of little weird loopholes. Like you can get a
It
false
could be,
start and continue to run
it
more
could
time
be
off the
and
clock.
would be done.
Right.
So, can you get a number down there, Mike?
No,
Can you see?
not
it?
yet.
I still can't see anything either because everybody's kind of blocked off.
And if it's taking this long, it's not good.
His knees are up.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah. It could be a shoulder. I really can't see what they're working on.
Shoulder, collarbone.
42 seconds. They've got enough time. The way Hartley throws the ball, clearly they have enough time.
Yeah.
And, it's serious enough that the team's going to move way back.
That usually means they're bringing somebody out to.
Suppose that they are going to do halftime early and then start up with 42 seconds. I have seen that done.
I don't think so. I think this is going to be one of those situations where they trying to get the kids
Guess they
stabilized and be safe.
Just moving everybody back.
Try to get some scores for you here while we're waiting. Goodness knows there's quite a few games tonight. Skowhegan trailing Brunswick 35-14. Excuse me, how about 43-14, Brunswick and Skowhegan? That was supposed to be the game of the night. Lewiston and Sanford going at it. Lewiston trails Sanford by a score of 7-6. Foxcroft leads Herman 14-0. Thornton Academy leads Scarborough 7-6. York trails Biddeford 21-6 in the first half. Those are some of your scores that are going on. And Lawrence leads Hamden Academy.
Biddeford's been on a roll.
Biddeford has been on a roll. Isn't it nice to see Biddeford back up?
Yes,
towards
it
the
does.
top
Yes,
of
it
things?
is.
I mean, I remember growing up, it was Biddeford Marshwood, man. Those were the. That's what you stayed tuned for when you were watching the TV highlights.
They were supposed to be in A. They petitioned to stay in A and then realized, whoa, our enrollment's dropped that much. And so they went back and petitioned the MPA, and the MPA allowed them to move back to B, which is magnanimous of the MPA, and I think it's good for their kids, no question.
Good for everybody. Good for the program. Good for the community.
At the half, Lewiston trails Sanford 14-6. Sanford scored on a reverse with 2 minutes left in the first half. Dirigo leads Maranacook at the half 31-0. Deering and Bonnie Eagle are tied at 7 as of last check.
Wow.
That's with 9:07 remaining in the first half.
Deering and Bonnie Eagle tied?
Yeah.
Oh.
Any Oak Hill Winthrop score?
Winthrop Monmouth leads Oak Hill 15-8. And that is in the second quarter.
Bringing out the Windham Fire and Rescue ambulance.
And you hope it's just precautionary to be safe. You do see that happen quite a bit. You can't mess with any kid's safety. We'll take another quick break on the radio side of things, and we'll come back with more action here from Windham. Edward Little in Windham. Windham leads 13-0. It's the Central Maine Community College Hammond Lumber Game of the Week.
So, Mike, 42 seconds left, 1st and 10 from the 30. So they've got one timeout left. They can throw, as they have, into the flat, get out of bounds.
Yep.
Looks to me like they, with Hartley's arm, they got time. What they don't need to do is try to get it all at once.
That's right. You're right.
My hope is that they would go for, a little shorter stuff, get out of bounds, and move the ball down in there, and then try to punch it in versus try to go up on top and get it all at once.
Yep. Yep. Use the sideline. Sideline's your best friend in this situation.
A little flare
You
to
mean-
the back.
Welcome back to Central Maine Community College Hammond Lumber Game of the Week on 105.5 and AM 1240. Also, down in Portland on ESPN 101.5 and AM 970. You can hear the audio at mainsbigz.com. You can watch the video stream at the mbr.org Facebook page. We've got a Windham player that's being tended to and being taken off the field here with 42.4 seconds remaining in the first half. Windham leads 13-0. They have a 75-yard touchdown pass from Leslie to Hauser and a 70-yard touchdown pass from Leslie to Hauser.
That's Kyle Hauser, isn't it? No.
It was
No, number 11.
It was Blake. Blake Hauser.
Blake
on both
Hauser,
of them,
yeah.
actually. That's one thing Windham is good for, having kids with the same last name a lot. So that's usually
Makes it
pretty
a little
helpful.
easy to try to remember.
It's easier that way, that's for sure.
The first game we were here to do against Lewiston, Kyle didn't play,
He was
right?
injured, yeah. He missed the first 2 games.
If you're looking for other games tonight, Winthrop Monmouth is taking on Oak Hill. That is over on the 92-7 side of the coin of Maine's Big Z. Mountain Valley and Cape Elizabeth, they're on 100.7 the Ox. If you're looking for Oxford Hills, they're not playing tonight. They are playing tomorrow afternoon for homecoming. That'll be an 11:30 pregame on Maine's Big Z 92.7, also on 96.9 and 1450. You hear the audio for that one at mbr.org. And
Would that be a Matty Boutwell game?
no, it will not be.
Oh.
No.
The Red Sox lead the Blue Jays 1-0, bottom of the first.
Red Sox?
Yeah, big delay because we're giving Ortiz more gifts.
What, did they actually give him Canada this time, or how did that
Well,
work?
I think that he
Oh,
declined.
that's right. They're back in Fenway this weekend.
He declined.
Even Maple Leaf.
they give him. Did they give him like maple syrup or something?
Probably.
How does that work?
I'd say a lifetime supply of lobster from Maine would do it for me. What do you
You
think?
know,
Yeah.
Did you read that article this week where he said he didn't know where Maine was? I think it was like 2006, 2007. Ryan McLaughlin from the Bangor Daily
ardent
News.
as
Actually
the fans
admitted
are
he didn't remember.
in Maine, and he doesn't know where they are.
Now, keep in mind, he then came up here a couple years later for a Sea Dogs rehab thing.
That's all right.
was quite
Manny
the stuff
Ramirez thought Detroit was in Canada, so we're even.
I mean, it practically is, though, right?
Well, you got to fly over Canadian airspace. So he was confused. Come on, he was
I can
confused.
see where that could be confusing, especially for Manny. I mean,
Manny
that's
is
being
right.
Manny.
Manny being Manny.
They tell the story of Manny being on the field at practice and his phone rang. He had it in his pocket, and his pal came out and he handed it to him, and he answered it for him. And he's got a guy that answers his phone. That's a pretty good deal, isn't it?
Hey,
You never know what's going to happen. Lawrence leads Hamden at the half, 28-7. Greeley and Morse tied at 14. Oak Hill Winthrop Monmouth is at the half. Winthrop Monmouth leads 15-8. Halftime at Cape Elizabeth Mountain Valley. Cape Elizabeth up at Hosmer Field leads the Falcons 17-3.
I think they have assigned 2 people to stand so that we can't catch the number.
I think that is exactly what it is, too.
Scouting in Brunswick, did we get a score on that?
Oh, how about an update on that? Hunter Garrett and Jesse Dever. Hunter Garrett with a touchdown. Brunswick 51, Skowhegan 14.
Oh, my word.
Before the half?
There's 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the first half.
Oh,
51?
51
I'd
to
say,
14, and
Mike,
that was
that-
supposed to be the game of the night.
I would say the wing tee's flourishing in Brunswick.
I
What
would
you
say that Coach Cooper has done
Cooper and
a
Levitt
great
are
job.
definitely running the wing tee.
Yeah,
would say
they've
they're
done a
doing
great
okay.
job.
Brewer and Coney. Trey Wood with another touchdown. What do you know? 30-8, approaching halftime there.
That's Brewer.
Yep, Brewer and Coney. Thornton Academy leads Scarborough 21-12 at the half. Old Town leads 28-6. I'm not quite sure who they're playing. I should remember because I had to pick the game this week, but I don't remember.
It's nice that their programs come back, Mike. You know,
Yes.
they were down for so
I know
long.
they were. I know. Yeah, good to see him back.
We do have an injury timeout here, just to reset everything on the Central Maine Community College Hammond Lumber Game of the Week. We're live at Windham. Matt Boutwell, Dave Wing, Mike Haley on the radio call side of things. Got the video stream at mbr.org. Just look for MBR Sport on YouTube. And they're getting the injured Windham player attended to here.
Wait, they closed the
I know they did.
and they didn't put him in yet.
No.
We've got
Guys,
quite a stoppage here.
Come on now.
Rich Drummond's letting them know where they can get off the field here. And they've actually got to go down to the other side, down to the right end zone where the big gate is, where they can get off the field here. Now they've reopened the doors. It is 13-0, Windham with the lead, 42.4 seconds remaining in the first half. Windham has 2 long touchdowns from Leslie to Hauser, 75 and 70. That's the difference in this one. Edward Little has been moving the ball between the 20s with abandon. Closest they got to getting into the end zone, they got stopped at the 5-yard line on a 17-play drive in the second quarter. So far, they have been kept out of the end zone. 42.4 seconds remaining. Now, are they going to do the whole warm-up thing after the stoppage?
Well, it wouldn't hurt to do a little stretching, although the research says if it's less than an hour, honestly, then the
Not much benefit.
the body is probably ready to go. But I think mentally, it wouldn't hurt to do a little stretch, maybe a little form running at each end zone, just to kind of
Get the heart rate
get
back
the heart
up.
rate up. Even though I think the research would say it probably isn't necessary.
Just to summarize where we're at, Edward Little was driving. Blanchard caught the pass. Instead of going out of bounds, he turned it upfield. He drew a 15-yard personal foul penalty, and the Windham player, which we still haven't been able to identify, is being tended to on the ground. They've been stabilizing him. They brought out Windham Fire and Rescue here. 42.4 seconds remaining in the first half. 13-0 Windham over Edward Little. Lewiston in action tonight. Tied with, they trail Sanford at the half 14-6. Take another quick break. You're listening to Maine's Big Z 105.5 and AM 1240. On the radio side of things, I want to thank our sponsors, OA. Ortho Access is open 6 days a week. Sprains, strains, or pains, no problem. Get back on the field as soon as possible. Located at 30 Sewell Street in Auburn. They're open on Saturdays. Find them online at orthoaccess.com. Also want to thank our studio sponsor, Mechanic Savings Bank, Mechanic Savings Bank broadcast booth, and Maine Athletic Fundraising. They take care of the lineups for us. Welcome back. Maine's Big Z, 105.5 AM 1240. Always online at mainsbigz.com. Matt Boutwell, Dave Wing, Mike Haley, Tyler Farnham on the video camera, Miles Sullivan back at the Gleason Media Palatial Estate Studios on the corner of Center and Bradman. It is 13-0, Windham with the lead. Edward Little driving, but there has been
Quite a delay now.
It's quite a delay now.
It's been about 15 minutes as I...
Yeah.
Looks like they're getting the player on to the board and into the back of the ambulance.
I told you when I played at Maine, my sister had something, so it was one of the only games they didn't go to. We played at Rhode Island, so the game was on the radio. Back in those days, they didn't have it on TV, and I got hurt.
They didn't have enough pots and pans to get the signal out. Yeah.
The car lights on the sideline, But anyway, I broke my leg, and so in radio they were saying Wing is hurt. Now I wasn't on the field. I limped off with the help of somebody and said I don't think it's a head injury. Geez, my mother almost fainted in the stands. Head injury?
Oh.
It was a broken leg, so they missed
boy.
it by just a little bit. And of course, there's no cell phones or anything. She couldn't find her anything until we got all the way back to campus. So she was not a happy camper.
When I was in high school, I got knocked out 3 times in one game.
Oh, hey, boy.
That wouldn't happen.
My mother said,
today.
"My mother said I'm going to watch every game you play. I'll be there every day, every time." Okay, so that was the second game of the season, and she never saw me play another game until I went to college. and so she'd listen, like Dave just said, she'd listen to the radio. There's a player down. We can't, we're not sure who it is, blah, blah, which is worse, actually being there watching,
Right.
or who is it? I wonder who that is. So it's for a parent, pretty tough.
Very tough. And the teams are going to kind of get stretched out here and get a little calisthenics going after the long break. 42.4 seconds remaining in the first half. We were on pace for a pretty quick first half here until this delay, guys.
We had a situation when I was a coach and AD at Skowhegan. We were playing Gardner in a pretty big game. It was the first time we had lights, and with just about this much time in the half, and I think we were up maybe 14-0. But Gardner had driven just like this, and all of a sudden the lights went. I mean, it was pitch black. The only lights were the scoreboard. And so the officials came to both sidelines and said, look, while they get this fixed, let's go in. We'll come out the third period. We'll do the extra 42 seconds, and then we'll take a 2-minute break. Then we'll start the third period. And Gardner stalled after that, and we beat them 26-0. So that was to our advantage, I think, Mike, having that lights go out.
Sure was, boy.
I said, boy, if I'd known that, I'd turned them off myself.
Well, remember that worked for the Super Bowl, too. Remember
That's
Baltimore was
right.
blowing San Francisco
That's right.
out of the building.
Yep.
I never thought you'd do that, David. I never thought you would. Gosh.
Could have been like Red Auerbach, and not install the air conditioners,
Oh, yeah.
things like that.
Absolutely not.
That's home field advantage. That's why you want the home field advantage, right? Stay tuned at halftime for the Procter & Gamble halftime show. We'll get you scores from around the area, although I think we've pretty much given you all the scores from around the area now because we've had such a long break here. Edward Little back out on the field. Looks like they're ready to go. Windham looks like they want to be ready to go. Matt Boutwell, Dave Wing, Mike Haley with you here on 105.5 and AM 1240 in Auburn.
There's very little that's worse than being a substitute in a game like this, in any game, really, because teams have stopped using the capes and pullovers and things like that that would keep the substitute warm, and you're on the sideline just standing there cold and wet. And
You guys want to hear a number? Brunswick's rushed the ball 25 times in the first half against Skowhegan for a total of 350 yards.
Holy smokes.
Holy mackerel.
I'd say the Indians had trouble with the wing tee.
I would think so.
Here we go.
42.4 seconds remaining here in the first half. Hartley back to pass. Looking, throws. He's got Blanchard, and he's going to overthrow him incomplete. Stops the clock with 37 seconds remaining. Be second and 10. Ball is at the 30-yard line.
Like I said, I'd like to see a 10-yard square out, get the first down,
Get out of
stop the
bounds.
clock, get out of bounds, and do it again.
That was a good play there by Blanchard to come back on the ball, though.
Almost made the catch, but the percentages on that kind of a pass at this point in the game when they're playing prevent, pretty slim.
13-0 Windham over Edward Little. It's the Central Maine Community College Hammond Lumber Game of the Week. 37 seconds remaining, second and 10. Hartley back to pass, under pressure. He's going to run it up the middle himself to the 25, to the 20, and he's going to get down to the 15-yard line. That will stop the clock with 28.3 seconds remaining, and Edward Little will have to hurry it up, but they've got an injured player back at the 34-yard line, and that is number 70. We can actually see this player, number 79. Alex Merchant on the ground. 28.3 seconds remaining in the first half, 13-0 Windham. He just kind of stayed back on the play and looked like he was having a tough time.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that he was in the play, but once Hartley started running, of course everybody watches the ball. I didn't see Merchant at all, so.
That was a tough play by Hartley. He's a big kid.
Big boy.
Not often you got to get scared when the quarterback's bearing down on you, but and Merchant gets up and is going to walk off under his own power. Good for him.
Now EL needs to get the play and get up on the ball because they're going to mark it ready for play here.
You got one timeout left?
Yes.
They do. Windham has two, just in case they need to take one for whatever reason. Maybe they don't like the defensive got called or whatever.
There it is. They're going to start the clock.
26 seconds remaining. Hartley jogs into the pistol. He's in the shotgun. 20 seconds. 19.
Yeah.
Ball is snapped,
Yeah,
and
moved.
flag goes. 17.6 seconds remaining, and you're going to have a false start. Somebody jumped first.
But again, need to get the play, get in and out of the huddle, get on the line of scrimmage. Everybody's on the same page. The wide receiver couldn't decide whether he was on the line of scrimmage or back. And boy, the coach is upset.
They got to waste a timeout.
Yeah, wasted a timeout.
Here, 16 seconds remaining in the first.
Now they almost have to go to the end zone, Mike.
Yep.
Close.
They got to cover. They got to call 2 plays, and without a huddle, be ready to get around the ball.
Or be sure to go out of bounds. One or the other.
Yep.
But again, you really need to everybody on the same page, and the wide receiver, the one in the middle, he just wasn't sure. And at the last minute, I don't know if somebody said to him, "You need to step up," and then they snapped the ball just as he stepped.
They tried to go long too, Dave. Remember what we said? They killed him in the flats, all the way up and down the field.
13,
they haven't
16
attacked
plays,
the flat
right?
at all in this drive. Tried to go deep each time.
At halftime in Gardner leads Mount Blue 3-0. Matt
Wow.
Boynton with a 27-yard field goal, and that one to take care of all the scoring there. Dirigo leads Maranacook 38-0 with 8 minutes left in the third quarter. Now there's 17 seconds remaining on the clock.
Ball is on the Windham 19-yard line.
They're a little huddling up out of the timeout here. 1st and 15. Ball's on the 19-yard line.
Pass. There it is.
Well, it was a toss to Blanchard, and he tried to pass it, but he was under pressure, and it got intercepted. And it's too bad, it was again good field position, not a lot of time left. They got a penalty, then they had to waste a timeout. They came out of the timeout, and Windham put pressure on. So it's really 3 or 4 big plays, Mike, this half, and they just.
Yale's been knocking on the door.
Yeah, it just hasn't gone their way.
This is very similar to the Portland game that we saw earlier this year.
Blanchard actually got hit as he was releasing the ball. That was a heck of a defensive play there by Windham to pick that off before it hit the ground.
Good penetration.
Especially in a play like that, because, you're not expecting the double pass there. So.
No.
And Leslie will just take a knee and end the first half. 3 turnovers for Edward Little in the first half. They trail Windham 13-0. We will take a break. We'll be back in 4 minutes with the Procter & Gamble halftime show. You're listening to Maine's Big Z, 105.5 at AM 1240. And for those of you in the Portland market, you're listening on ESPN at 101.5 and AM 970. Video stream at mbr.org. I go to talk, and of course, for those of you on the video stream, you're still here. I go to talk, and I'm like, "Why is everything down?" And it goes, "Your battery's dead." I'm like, oh, "Okay," and I'm like waving at you, and you weren't looking. You were actually looking at the play like you were supposed to be, which is funny. It's halftime here at Windham, 13-0.
Yeah, I hear this vicious tapping on the table, and I'm thinking, what is that all about anyway? Maddie, you haven't thrown a fit.
I'm like, "Hey, I've got no microphone.
What is going on over here?"
Either I'm going to have to rip your headset off, or I'm just going to have to use the microphone here. So.
But Mike, these are the things these last several years doing games that we've harped on so much. I'm sure that our listening audience is tired of hearing us say it, but those teams that have trouble consistently winning, it's almost always you can trace it back to penalties, turnovers, poor time of possession. I'm not going to make any judgment about, what the play call is or isn't, or their offense or defense. Those are coaching decisions that I'm sure people criticize each of us when we were coaching. Matter of fact, I'm sure of it. But these are things that are kind of preventable. You hope that your team is at a point where they understand what those things are. Although, I watched a pro game, I think it was Dallas, they had a chance to beat the Giants. They threw the ball to the wide receiver, and instead of going out of bounds, he tried to turn up and go all the way, and the clock ran out before they got a chance to run another play.
Fundamental stuff.
It's like, what are you doing?
Right.
You know, so it happens everywhere, but this has been a tough game. You know, we saw a 16-yard drive play by Edward Otto. They started in great field position. They drove the ball down. They just couldn't finish it off. Hartley got hit in the midsection and threw an interception. It was a good run back, and Windham's had 2 long plays. And that's
All about execution.
Yeah.
That's what it is, you know. Execution and stay away from mistakes.
Although,
And if you can do that,
yeah, no question. But again, I think, and it's a game of breaks, you know. The Hauser kid made 2 great plays after a couple of short passes, although one of them he was wide open. But, you know, EL just seems to be snake bitten. They've got good receivers. They've got a great quarterback. They just haven't been able, with Bago's hurt, they haven't run the ball enough to keep teams honest, and they haven't been able to turn that corner so that they're successful and can punch into the end zone. Maddie, last week you were at the Chevrolet game, and as it started out as a spectator and added up bonus coverage to tell us what was going on, the same thing happened. They really controlled the ball and then gave it away at the end.
Just kept giving it away and giving it away. I mean, just like the Red Hot Chili Peppers song.
3 turnovers, yeah.
And they were all in the red zone. I mean, red zone turnovers, if you added them
Oh,
up in
they
the
are.
last few weeks, I mean, it's
Yeah.
just, it's not been exactly what you want if you're an Edward Little fan or player. Of course, we're still on the video side of things here. Video is live on YouTube. Just look for MBR Sports. Other games on the radio right now, we have games on 92.7 and 100.7.
By the way, I'm impressed you had a spare battery.
I've got multiple spare batteries because I've been through this before.
Oh,
Backup plan on backup plan on backup plan on backup
yeah,
plan.
really. Well, I told you last week at Bangor I had the Wi-Fi plugged in. They didn't have a password for it, but I had it plugged in just in case. And I had both hotspots plugged in just in case one of them quit.
Just in case.
So I wonder, didn't Coach Haley said, that laptop isn't going to blow up, is it, with all those things plugged in?
Welcome back on the radio side of the coin. Central Maine Community College Hammond Lumber Game of the Week. Matt Boutwell, Dave Wing, Mike Haley. Windham, 13-0 over Edward Little. Definitely not as one-sided as you think it might be. Edward Little has controlled a lot of the time of possession. They have controlled first downs. They have controlled everything basically between the 20s, but they have not yet been able to score, and they've had 3 turnovers in the red zone.
Well, I think there's an art to understanding what the strengths of your team are and deciding what is our red zone offense going to be. If we're having trouble getting it into the end zone, then you go back to the drawing board and you sit down with your coaches and you break down film and you say, okay, what are we doing well? What are we not doing well? What can we run when we do have the ball in the red zone so that we can maximize our opportunities to score? Because EL has had a couple opportunities to score, and they just haven't been able to get it in there for one reason or another. Pressure on the quarterback. And
Pressure on the double pass that they had,
yeah.
too.
And and again, Mike mentioned it at the end of the, just before the half, they came down the field with a little square outs and the little slide pass to the back out of the backfield. We didn't see it once, that drive.
no.
And that really was, I think I told you, they ran it 6 times. I think I counted the top of my head in the first half early and then never used it at the end. So, again, those would be one of the things they're talking about at halftime. Because Windham will certainly be ready to play defense against that. So,
Good.
It's always good when you bring Coach Haley out. Everybody
yeah,
wants to say
the
hi.
fans come. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
The mothers come and kiss him. The
Sides.
fathers come.
Have been in the minus side of things.
How many first down are Windham finding?
EL has 6. Wyndham has 2.
We only have
first
6
down.
first down. Wow, seems
Yeah.
like they got a lot more than that.
Yeah. But and like you said, 175-yard touchdown pass and 170-yard touchdown pass, and PAT, the second PAT, the snap was bad.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not clear what Windham EO's forefront with their stunning some people and 4 deep defensive backs. I'm not clear. They haven't been able to run the ball really at all. And so I'm not clear exactly what they would do other than maybe try to get outside, although the 2 times they did, EO was there and
Well,
they tackled them
when we
the
saw
whole game.
them play Portland, they couldn't attack. Portland couldn't attack inside.
Yeah.
They had to go
They
outside.
had to go outside.
And I think that's the same. That's the same now.
Now, Windham against Thornton Academy, they couldn't get inside with
No.
those big roaches they had, but they threw that quick stuff to the flat.
Yeah.
Welcome back. It's the Central Maine Community College Ham and Lumber game of the week on Maine's Big Z 105.5 AM 1240. Also, if you're in Portland, it's on ESPN 101.5 and AM 970 WZAN. Video stream, find that on the Facebook page for mbr.org. 13-0. Windham leads Edward Little. We're at the half here at Windham. We gave you a bunch of scores towards the end of the second half. Of course, look for the hashtag mesports on Twitter. That'll keep you up to date on everything.
That Brunswick Skowhegan score shocked me.
I mean, that was supposed to be the game of the year. You know, that's all I kept hearing about, how great a game that was going to be. And 51 points in the first half. I mean, you're looking at running time in a game like that.
And even, that's right. And even last week when Brewer beat Skowhegan, they scored a lot of points. So I think Skowhegan's defense has been
Questionable.
at least the last 2 weeks anyway.
Yeah.
That happens once in a while, especially you find that teams that tend to throw it well tend to just, I don't know, the defense on the other side. I've always thought that was odd because, and Coach Haley had mentioned it too, that when you have a good quarterback, you have to face him every day in practice. You'd think kind of the defensively things would be a little different.
Here's one of the worries that I used to feel anyway. When you throw the ball a lot, more times than you run, I don't want to use the word soft, but I think you're less physical because you're rushing the passer, you're backing up, playing pass defense all the time, over and over and over. And when a team's used to somebody running at them, they're stepping up, ready to make tackles and stop the yardage. And I think you're a tougher team when you're a run team than you are when you're a pass team because you spend so much time. But think about pass blocking. It's all backing up.
And Skowhegan is a pass first, run second. Coach Freedom is a spread philosophy, and
but he throws the ball versus running the wing tee from shotgun.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean. And so, like Dave just said, if you don't practice against it, when's it going to happen?
Right.
Yeah, you gotta work on it in practice, and both the pass and the run. It's really, really difficult. And when you get a team that is an option team, for example, or like Mountain Valley is running the single wing, how do you simulate that in practice? If you don't have the people, if you don't run it yourself, and you don't have anybody anywhere near the athletes to run it, you're going to be in trouble preparing for the team.
Well, and the other thing is too. You've got a lot of guys that play both sides of the ball, and they're starters on the defense, and they're starters on the offense. So, how do you pick and choose who plays what and practices against what?
That's right.
It's not like it used to be.
I think you've even seen it in the NFL. It's become such a pass-happy league that I think the Patriots, one of the reasons they're 3-0 is because they've run the ball.
Right.
They run the ball in every game. Now, they've thrown it too, but they've run the ball. Like Garrett Blunt was player of the week last week, 100 and whatever yards because they ran the ball. Yeah. And I think teams are so used to everything being throwing the ball or whatever that a good running team is tough to handle.
Most of the teams that have actually done well so far this year, as I read a stat today, their yards per carry are higher than the other teams. And even though it's a pass-happy league, you still got to run the ball to control the clock and really control the pace. To me, it's not even control the clock; it's controlling the pace of play. Because when you're able to run the clock, you can keep the team that's throwing it all over the place off the field.
We say you can throw it all you want early in the year, but I tell you what, as it gets colder, I tell you're going to need at some point in time as the year goes on to be able to throw the ball. Now, when you get the Super Bowl, it's going to be warm or indoors or whatever. But leading up to that, you're going to potentially play some cold games, and you need to be able to do both.
Same thing in high school.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you get those teams that are going to be playing in November. They're almost all of them are run orientated. They're oriented. They are able to lug the leather.
We
You
are-
know, don't have to rely on throwing it.
We're going to take a 3-minute break, and we will come back with second half action. Windham leads Edward Little 13-0. It's the Procter & Gamble halftime show on the Central Maine Community College Hammond Lumber Game of the Week.
Yeah, you know, Mike, this is the first real, like I say, chilly game. It's not cold. You know,
No.
I'm whining, but it's not really cold. You can't see your breath, but maybe a little. But well, your breath's a little hotter. But the you know, I do think that it lends itself to maybe some cramps, calf cramps.
Yeah, no question about that.
I think that receivers, even though they're fairly warm when you're out there playing, whatever, I think it's the conditions are a little different than what you've seen. The ball is a little harder.
Yeah. A little slicker.
Sometimes you see turnovers in this first chilly game. Not a cold game, but a chilly game. There's so many variables when you high school football. In 2 weeks, we're liable to have one of those crazy hot weekends, and people are like, they have to take breaks because everybody needs water. I mean, you just don't know in high school football in this state what you're going to face, including rain that we haven't seen in months. But
Knock on wood.
What's rain? Is that?
yeah, I know. What's it look
Can
like?
we get through this broadcast before we talk about it, though? Seriously, though? We can just, yeah. There was some in the forecast tonight. I'm just throwing that out there.
Mike and I could be inside, happy as heck. You'd be out here, but, you know.
Yeah, well, you know, there's camera up top and some computers, you know.
We'd have to take off our jackets and throw them over this table.
Oh, yeah, we'd have to pretty much sacrifice ourselves for the equipment at this point. It is halftime.
You know what? I bet both coaches are talking or have talked about hold on to the football.
Yeah.
Hold on to the football.
And I think you're going to find Windham's going to try to find some way to run the ball.
Well, I have to.
And I think EL doesn't look to me like they have settled on, other than Pelletier, who made a couple nice runs, another back to take Bago's place. So they're probably going to keep slinging it. And I think if they give Hartley the protection he needs, I think that they'll be all set.
Yeah. Well, it didn't hurt that, you know, when the game first started, first possession, they threw the pass and had it called back. But then they ran a toss twice after that and got stuffed both times. Didn't go back to it. Haven't been back to it.
Yeah. So, Mike, as a coach, how much does a major injury, we don't know what it was, but certainly it held up play for a considerable amount of time. What's that do to the psyche of your team? Do you talk about it at all at halftime? What?
I think you have to. If you think that you're, first of all, it's according to who it is, but even then, they're friends,
Yeah.
and you know they're concerned, and you've got to discuss that. You have to say, okay, this happens in the game. You can't dwell
It's
on
part
it.
of a game. Yeah.
Okay, after the game, yes, we will. Yes, we'll talk about it. Yes, we'll go see. Yes. But right now, we gotta shrug it off and play.
Sure.
And it's not the easiest thing in the world to do, but it happens.
I watched the Marlins try to continue after Fernandez was killed, and it was miserable.
Terrible.
Even though they took one game off, their emotions were, I mean, they're cooked. God love them. That's the most
that is
miserable.
such a difficult situation.
Yeah.
Welcome back on the radio side of things. Central Maine Community College Hammond Lumber Game of the Week. It's Procter & Gamble halftime show. Windham, Edward Little at the half. Windham leads 13-0. Halftime getting ready to wrap up, and Edward Little will kick it off to Windham. They will have a couple of men back deep for them.
Going to be really anxious, guys, to see what Windham starts out with, whether they get good field position and what attack do they start with, because they have not been able to run the ball really at all. So we'll see. And they're really they've been a spread run team when you think about it with the two Hausers.
Yes.
Ball is at the 40-yard line. Kick is away. Be a short one, and that will be fielded at the 25. That'll be fielded there by number 10 for Windham. Excuse me, that was Blake Hauser who had that, who's had a heck of a night so far.
It's the best
37
field
yards.
position they've had the whole game.
They'll start at the 37, going right to left on your radio dial. And that's saying something, Coach, because they're leading 13-0.
I know.
That's their best field position of the whole game.
Yeah.
Really, you take the 2 75-yarder and a 70-yarder, you take that away, they really have about 15 yards total offense. And actually negative beyond that because they've been tackling the backfield.
Yep.
This is a big series, I believe, for both teams. I think Windham wants to get a couple first downs, and EL wants to continue to play that really good defense.
Windham breaks the huddle. Just underway here in the second half. They send Kyle Hauser
Motion to
out,
trips.
and they'll throw it out to Hauser. Out of that, he's going to get to the 40, out past the 40, and out to the 43-yard line. That'll be a gain of 6. It'll be 2nd and 4.
You know, he is a tough man to bring down out there
Yes, he
one-on-one, and Nazari Henderson did the same thing. He started off the first half. He flattened C.J. Gibson twice early, and he just did it again. You know, Gibson's coming up to make the play, and he doesn't see him, and then bang, down he goes.
And Hauser's a load.
2nd and 4. They send Blake Hauser to the right. Handoff to Kyle Hauser. He's going to get up to the 45-yard line. Gain of 2.
Again, as far as running the ball, they picked up maybe a yard there. It's tough going, especially inside against EL. Their interior defense all year, Mike, has been really good.
Yes, it has. They plug the middle of that defensive front is tough. And those linebackers are crowding too. They're right up on the line right now.
3rd and short.
7, 8-man front.
Leslie under pressure, and
Lucky he got it away.
That is going to be an incomplete pass, but
Lucky
he was very
he got
lucky
away.
to get it away. He was under pressure from everybody there.
Yeah, it was a screen pass over here, the bottom of the screen, and they had it smelled out from the get-go. And
Such a guessing game, though. This game is.
he was lucky to get it off, and unfortunately he didn't fumble it.
See those linebackers get up in there, timed it up.
Be 4th and 3.
We're not in a bad position to fake punt. I haven't seen him do it, but
Blake Hauser's back to punt. He's going to be back at the 33-yard line. Kick is
Good
away. It'll bounce, and it will go
What
down to
the
about
heck
the
is that guy
15-yard
doing?
line. Not sure what was going on there,
Either
but
one.
if they touch that, it's a live ball.
Yeah,
my goodness.
I can't believe that number 21 was trying to block. That's getting that's Brushwine. You get knocked off your feet there, and you're on top of the ball, and they're going to turn it over. That was crazy.
Well, we'll see what EL does now. They're deep in their own territory on the minus 15. This is an unusual spot for them.
Yeah, they've had
They had
excellent
great
field
field
position,
position the whole first half.
especially if they're going to plan on throwing the ball all the time here. They're in a tough spot on the field to do that.
Yeah.
1st and 10. 10:53 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
This is the first time we've seen that formation. Motioned out of it.
They're going to hand it off, and it looked like Blanchard who took that on the carry.
I think they're trying to find any way that they can establish a running attack with a back who's not normally a back, and they had everybody up in there.
Yeah.
Try to run a little motion to get an extra back on that side might give him some strength over there, and it picked up about 3.
Be 2nd and 7. Got to get to the 25 for a first down. 10:20 remaining in the 3rd quarter. 13-0. Windham with the lead over Edward Little. Hartley in the shotgun, sends a man in motion.
Same formation.
Handoff again. That'll
Same
be
play.
Blanchard. He spins. He stays upright. He gets past the 20. Looks like they're going to mark him down at the 21-yard line. That'll be a gain of 4, and it will be 3rd and 4. Got to get to the 25 for a first down here. For Edward Little, they've definitely had some long drives here so far.
Well, I think, the field position has somewhat to do with this because you're not going to go chucking it all over the place down in here. But I do think they need to do this. They need to
establish the run.
Establish something with the running attack so that it opens up the pass game, because otherwise Hartley's been taking a beating back there.
9:35 remaining in the third quarter. 13-0 Windham with the lead. Edward Little with the ball. 3rd and a long 4 for Edward Little. Hartley with a toss. That'll be Blanchard off the left side. He's waiting for a block. Gets down the sidelines, and he's going to be a yard shy of the first down.
Boy,
that was a tough run.
That was a tough run. He did a good job, but boy,
accelerated really well.
Windham really closed on it. Again, just haven't had a break. They're just short again.
That'll make it 4th and short.
Boy, and it's just short.
And they're going to have to punt.
And it looks like Windham will have excellent field position here.
Catch it, catch it, catch it. Don't let it hit.
Boy,
jam it back down in there.
He's deep. Their punting hasn't been there. He's moving up now.
Punt is away.
Oh, boy.
It'll be a sidewinder.
They got it running into the kicker.
And that'll go to the 47-yard line.
Yeah, I don't think it was the major penalty. I think it was a 5-yarder, but it's going to be a first down.
Yeah.
From
Luckily,
the line,
it was close enough.
Right?
And it was close enough to make it so that the running into the kicker was a first down.
First down.
I think that's one of those one of those underrated things where you get it within 5 yards on the 4th down. Yeah, you don't want to have to punt it, but if something like that does happen, you get the first down instead of having to just re-kick it again. Because you don't get the roughing that often, but you always get the running into.
Yes.
Running into happens often.
Yeah, I bet it's 2-1 at least, maybe 3-1. So nice break for Edward Little. Gets them a little better field position. Out to about the 30 now, so good place to maybe start to open up their offense just a little bit. Although again, I go back to Mike.
They had that's a major minus 15.
1st and 10.
No, they only moved it.
Oh, the 5 yards.
Yeah.
1st and 10, ball at the 23-yard line. Edward Little drive, staying alive. Apologies to the Bee Gees. Hartley back to pass, has a man, and had to let go of it just a little too soon, and it was out of the reach of Blanchard, incomplete over the middle. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, it's the first time we've seen the skinny post or a seam with a little bit of an in cut at the end. Again, Windham right away was dropping the linebackers, so that's going to be a tough pass. They've either got to run looking like he's going to the post, Mike, and then come back on a curl.
Yep.
Not just a hook, but a curl. And he's got to stay away from those linebackers. So we'll see what they try to do here.
Anything inside, Dave, is probably going to be there.
2nd and 10. Hartley back to pass, under pressure, and he is going to go down.
Good coverage. Good coverage that time. Linebacker moved out and had that guy in the flat.
You got a flag thrown
Late
in.
flag thrown in from the side judge.
The far side judge, too. And that was quite a toss by
looked like a missile from way over on the sideline.
You know, if you're at Edward Little and they did the chuck-a-duck thing, I mean, he really would have had a legitimate chance.
Yeah, that's a winner there. It's a penalty. They're marking it off.
Like
5 yard.
On Windham.
5 yard or what?
Face mask.
Touch the face mask.
5-yarder. See, now, if that had been the 15 there, see? I'm telling you.
But it now takes it to 2nd and 10.
2nd and 11 instead of...
Yep.
Actually, 2nd and 13, it looks like here.
Trips over here.
That line judge continues to move that. Hartley back to pass, throws, has a man. It's Blanchard. He is crunched at the 36-yard line, but he hangs on to the ball, and then you're going to get a taunting foul.
Yeah, no question. A second one. So at least one. Yeah, he gave it the old look at me, and that's a penalty.
Oh, Matt Perkins is absolutely apoplectic about that.
He should be. He should be. Hauser knows better than that. Is
he mad at Hauser?
Is
he mad at the officials?
No, I think he's.
Why are we having a meeting?
Well, there were 2 flags thrown up in the air, so I don't know. I mean, are they?
You can't going to pick them both up, are they?
Is it offsetting?
Personal
dead
foul.
Ball. Sport.
That'll be a
personal foul
on Windham.
Windham.
15-yarder.
Is there a different signal for taunting compared to unsportsmanlike?
No, that's what
Same
it
thing?
is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big penalty, Mike. It was a completion just short of the first down, but now it's definitely a first down into Windham territory. Yeah, there's no excuse. No, you can tell it's not you and I at that coach. We would have pulled him out of the game.
Yes, we probably would have.
Edward Little back into Windham territory. 8:44 remaining in the third quarter. They trail 13-0. Windham keeping this drive alive for EL. They got to take advantage. Going to be a underneath handoff that's going to gain nothing. I believe that was to Blanchard.
But again, I go back to, honestly,
that was not Blanchard.
It was
That
6. It was 6.
That was Yarnovich. He's back in the
it's
game.
not always that you gain 8 or 9 yards on a run like that. You're establishing that you might run the ball.
Yeah.
So it opens up if you fake that and then throw the ball. It gives you a little something for a play action.
Gonna stop him on the play action, that's for
Because
sure.
otherwise, most of the time, they're snapping in the ball and he's back there naked trying to make something.
Got trips out to the right here. You got Blanchard and Weaver out there. Hartley's in the shotgun. Blanchard flanks out to the left. Hartley throws deep pass.
alone.
Man, it's Weaver, but it was underthrown, incomplete.
Yeah, I think one of the things that happens to a quarterback when you have been under pressure all along, the pressure wasn't quite as intense that time, but he's shuffling his feet because you almost feel like it's going to have pressure. Pass interference.
on Windham, and the flag is down at the 43-yard line. And I'll tell you,
Windham, right now, kind of stumbling here in the second half.
they have. It's one of those deals where you can say they've given him the drive, but they've really given him the drive here. Not only did you have the running into the kicker, you had the taunting foul, and now you've got pass interference. And that brings them down all the way down to the 33-yard line.
2 first downs in a row on penalties.
It's really 3. Remember, the running into the kicker was a first down.
That's
Yep.
right.
Yeah, 3 penalties in a row for first downs.
7:52 remaining in the third quarter. 13-0.
counted
Windham
that
with a lead over Edward Little.
EL tried to go to that little flare pass to the back, but Windham, they saw that at halftime. I
Yeah.
can guarantee you. Here it is
Hartley
again.
back to pass.
Oh,
Under
yeah.
pressure. It was intended for Gibson, and Gibson's tip probably saved that from being picked off by Hauser.
It was a little high. Which
Hartley got hit just
yeah,
as he threw
just
the ball.
he threw it again. Again, they need a little bit more of a running attack, and they just don't have it.
Wyndham's teeing off for him now. And like I said, they've been putting those 2 big tackles in the A-gaps and giving them like a 40 look.
That'll make it 2nd and 10. 7:49 remaining in the third quarter. Windham leads Edward Little 13-0. Edward Little, however, continues to march.
He's got single coverage up above.
Yeah.
Looks out to the right, and under pressure, gets out of it, and he'll fall back and be about a yard shy. of the line of
33
scrimmage.
made the tackle.
That's-
Out of the pocket, brought down by Jacobson.
That was Jacobson. If you're aware at number 33 in Windham and your last name's Jacobson, like that's how it's supposed to be. If you have the name Jacobson, you're supposed to wear number 33. I believe that's how that works.
So
I
kind of
feel
a
like
big
that's
play.
been the
This
number for years.
is a 4-down zone, I believe, Mike. They're down
Yeah.
13-0.
Yeah.
Get half it. Get half it now.
No question. Don't try to get it all at one time either.
It's a tight trips over here.
Too much time.
And delay a game.
Flag on the play.
Again, EL, they've got a drive going. They've been aided by some penalties, but then they get a delay a game. You cannot do this. If you want to be successful, you've got to be better at these kind of things. These are standard.
It's
In
like
and out of the huddle.
Remember just before the half when
Yeah.
they had to call timeout to get the play straight?
After they
Same
jumped
idea.
offside.
Same
After
idea here.
After they jumped
It's a
offside.
discipline.
And they've all got armbands on. He's flashing them in half the time.
Boy.
3rd and 17. Hartley in the shotgun. Tight trips to the right. They're going to flank it out, and that'll be caught and down to the 31-yard line there.
What we're talking about, though, get a little bit at a time.
But see, if they hadn't had that penalty, they would be within 3 yards now of.
Yep.
You had 5 yards on here, they'd be within 2. It'd be 4th and 2.
Nice play by Girardin there to gain some yardage and make this at least a somewhat manageable 3rd down at the 32-yard line. 6:20 remaining in the third quarter. 13-0 Edward Little. 13-0 Edward Little trails Windham. Hartley in the shotgun. Trips to the left.
Ooh.
Got away with a
Yeah.
move there, and then they're going to pass it, and it's going to be complete to Blanchard inside the 20 and down to the 17-yard line. Huge pickup there for Edward Little, and that time they earned the first down.
Yeah, and that's that, Mike. That's that little in cut right there. It wasn't really a complete hook, and it certainly wasn't a curl. It was just a little turn in.
Well, we talked about
Right in that
the middle.
space. Yeah, right in that space. Big first down.
6 minutes remaining, and the clock is ticking. 1st and 10 for Edward Little. Ball is at the 18-yard line, 17-yard line. Scoreboard says 41. It's moved since then. Hartley back to pass, looking, has a man. It's Blanchard. He catches it inside the 10, spins into
nice
the 5. He's going
move.
to get into the
He's
end zone.
in there.
Touchdown, Eddies.
In the flat.
Wow, that was a nice pass. Just like Coach said, the flats have been open, and they hit him right there.
Yeah.
No flags.
Thank you.
Big-time drive there
Yeah.
for the Eddies.
You know, it was aided by some penalties, but you know what? You got to take advantage of them still. Hey, by the way, there's a lot of people here with jackets on tonight.
There really are. I mean, but they didn't start wearing them at 4:45.
Well, that's because we were foolish enough to be here that early.
But I understand.
Whoa.
And that is going to be blocked.
By a number of people. Oh,
Yeah, I can't even tell because there was that many people on the block. However, Edward Little finally finds the end zone. 13-6, Windham with the lead. 5:39 remaining in the third quarter. It's the Central Maine Community College Hammond Lumber Game of the Week.
Boy, that's just exactly, Mike. I know it was penalty laden, but they took advantage of it. They made the plays when they wanted to, and they went right back to what you talked about. They ran the ball a little bit, and they hit the man in the flat when they needed to. And Blanchard made a great play to get it in the end zone.
I'll tell you, this was quite a drive. They had 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 play drive with 4 penalties.
Yeah.
You get 4 penalties on a
Oh.
drive?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? That's
Almost
what we're
half of
talking
it.
about.
Yeah.
Don't have penalties. Don't make mistakes.
Welcome back.
Boy.
We're talking about penalties and mistakes here, and Edward Little managed to take advantage of some penalties
Absolutely.
and mistakes on that last drive by Windham to get back into this one. 13-6, Windham with the lead. We're in the third quarter, 5:39 remaining in the third quarter. Dave Wing, Mike Haley, Matty Boutwell with you here on the call.
And Windham didn't move the ball last time on offense. So
No, they didn't.
That kick is away. Willette's kick is going to be fielded
Henderson.
by Windham and into the 40 down
Nice
the sidelines,
acceleration right
to the
there.
48 down to the 46-yard line. Nazari Henderson with a great return. And that is going to be the best field position of the day for the Windham Eagles,
Sure
starting
is.
off in Edward Little territory.
Yeah, he broke up the middle, and then when he saw a little bit of a gap, he pulled here to the left, and he just outran people. I'm not sure the blocking was anything special. He just outran everybody.
5:30 remaining in the third quarter, 1st and 10. Leslie looks over to the sideline for the play call. A brisk night here at Windham. Leslie sends a man in motion. That will be Blake Hauser. He goes from the right to the left. Throws it to Kyle Hauser out of the flat. He cuts it upfield. Spins, and he will get to the 45-yard line. That'll be a hard-earned gain of 2 there for Windham. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Yeah, it was slow developing, and I thought there was a block in the back up at the top of the screen. The corner came up, and I thought he was blocked in the back, but Windham picked up 2. They still haven't been able to run the ball.
Oh,
Although that short pass game's really a run.
that
anyway.
was like a toss.
Clock is ticking. Under 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. 2nd and 7. 13-6. Edward Little trails Windham. Leslie in the pistol. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Sends Blake Hauser motion from the right to the left. Leslie's going to take himself up the middle, and he's going to gain some yards inside the 40, inside the 35, and down to the 33-yard line. That will be a gain of 12, and that'll be an Eagles first down.
A little bit of a follow. You know, he faked to the fullback and then followed right in behind him, and I think he's got a little bit of a limp coming over here. We'll see when he jogs back to the huddle, but yeah, he's trying to stretch his leg out now.
First down of the second half for Windham.
If you're a Windham fan, the last thing you want to see is Des Leslie doing anything regarding an injury, whether it's stretching out or, you know, any of it. He seems to be walking back normally, though.
Okay.
Jogging back now.
4:17. This period's moving right along.
Don't jinx it. See, this is what happens. It's like talking about a no-hitter. As soon as you do that, that's it. Leslie back to pass. Looking, throws. He has a man, and batted away, incomplete.
C.J. Gibson.
What a great play.
Whew.
Number 4.
That was
Yeah,
great.
Gibson got his fingertips on it, and that was intended for Henderson, who was wide open.
He was open.
But just hung up in the air long enough for Gibson to catch up with it. It was a very athletic play and saved a touchdown there. Stops the clock with 4:02 remaining in the third quarter. It's 2nd and 10 now for Windham as they took their shot at the end zone. Wouldn't be surprised if they went back to that one later because it looked like that one was open. If you get the air out from underneath that one, you probably get a touchdown.
Yeah, Leslie throws the ball very well, and especially deep. And they probably will come back to that.
Henderson to the left. Leslie will run it himself, and that was one of the greatest stiff arms I've ever seen. He got no yardage out of it.
Penalty.
But Leslie stiff-armed the defensive lineman down to the ground. He actually tackled himself, and now you get a personal foul penalty on Windham. I don't know if he held on to it too long or what, but boy, he had a quick trigger finger there on that penalty flag.
Somebody said something.
No, I think somebody said something.
Somebody said the magic word.
I thought it was 70,
the magic word.
77, I believe.
This
came
was like
in.
Pee-wee's Playhouse, like there'd be sirens right now and all sorts of excitement because of the magic word, but instead it moves you back 15 yards.
You know, Mike, for a team that looked so great last week against Thornton Academy, this has not been classy Windham. This is the second unsportsmanlike, and 5 other penalties.
Really tough when you have a game as good as they played down at Thornton to be able to put another one right behind it. You know, attitude.
Just a little different
Coming
quarterback.
again.
And
The 2 Hausers in the backfield.
Hauser
Mike.
gets tackled down at the 49.
I wonder if Leslie really is hurt then.
I don't know.
Looks like Hauser's going to be. They're going 4th down now, so. I don't see, is the trainer looking at him? I don't see him. Desmond Leslie, he's kneeling down on the sideline. I don't know if maybe it was him that got the penalty, and coaches had enough of that because he definitely took him out.
Yep.
So this is 4th and, what's that, 25?
Yep. More than that.
More than that.
4th
Right
and
back where they started, wasn't it?
about a quarter of a mile, roughly.
Oh.
They'll be punting. That's a nice kick.
kick.
Blanchard going back to field it, and that'll be downed inside the 20, down at the 17-yard line. Stuart Salem was the one who
So it's about where
got that down.
EL started last time, and they were aided by 4 penalties, drove it into the end zone with a nice play by Blanchard.
2:31 remaining in the third quarter. 13-6, Windham with the lead over Edward Little. Edward Little not going away.
Looking at, like I say, Mike and I went down to see Thornton Academy, Windham. Thornton Academy's been the team to beat the last 3 years. It was 17-14, a heck of a game, and I expected Windham really pretty much to have their way tonight, and they've done. I mean, you take away the 2 plays, and they really haven't done anything.
Nope. You're right.
But those 2 plays do count.
Yes, they do.
As far as I know, they still count those on the
They still
scoreboard.
count when like they say when you're talking about baseball, the guy gets a blue pit. You say,
like a line
looks
drive.
like a line drive in the scorebook.
Another
Edward Little timeout.
timeout
Before they even took a
coming
there's
out
a lot of
coming out of the
communications
change
issues.
of possession. I just don't get it.
This has been happening too since I would say the exhibition game against Massabesic. Just communication issues depending
Boy.
on what's going to happen here, there, and everywhere.
We saw it last year also. We talked about it a couple of times.
Whenever you signal your plays in from the sideline, if you have any system that results in any type of confusion, you're gonna have to end up doing this. You're gonna have to end up calling a timeout.
Yeah, I don't necessarily like the system where the quarterback runs over and gets the play,
No.
but if there's going to be this much confusion, you're better off having him run over, to be honest with
Well, or have a messenger system.
you. Or a more simple.
where
Maybe
you-
they could do the signs. You know how some of them do the signs?
Yeah.
Can do
there's
the
a duck
signs.
and a
Sure,
frog.
colleges do that a
Yeah,
lot.
there's all sorts of things.
you do your signal.
We've done a
You can
little bit of
signal
everything.
part of it and send in part of it.
I'd prefer the one where you've got Kermit the Frog sipping coffee. I think that would be a good one. I don't know
Yeah.
what that play would be, but
Yeah.
1st and 10, 2:31 remaining in the
Whatever
third
you want to
quarter.
call it.
13-6.
Oh, the
flea
flea flicker again.
And they've got a man
He's
open,
open again.
deep, and it is caught.
Oh,
What
Wow.
a tremendous
The
catch
kid
by
was right there. He
Girardin.
just turned the wrong way.
Two guys right there. Oh, I think Blanchard might be hurt.
That was Girardin, actually. Leighton Girardin with a catch. It looks
Oh,
like he
sorry.
banged his head off the ground, but he managed to catch it. We'll have a stoppage in play here with 2:22 remaining in the third quarter. He's down on the sidelines. I'll take a look at him there.
Now,
Huge play. They tried to run that play early
Yeah.
in the first quarter, but it got blown
First-
up by a penalty.
First play of the game
Yeah, it
for
got
a
blown up by a
touchdown.
penalty, yeah.
You know, way back when the rules, there was a loophole in the rule, and Bear Bryant was still alive and still coaching, and he had his backup quarterback get the play on the sideline, run out to the huddle, give the play to the quarterback, run back, so he didn't wear out his quarterback. He wore out his third string quarterback. So no such luck here.
That was before the days of you had to have so many guys in the huddle
Yeah.
if you didn't like they do now.
12-minute huddle penalty.
That was a beautiful play there.
Oh, gorgeous.
All the way around by everybody.
When he first threw it, I thought, oh no, this is going to be intercepted. But what a catch!
Threw it only where Girardin was going to catch it, too. 2:09 remaining in the third quarter, 13-6 Windham, but Edward Little is driving. Hartley back to pass, almost intercepted. It was intended for Blanchard, but a beautiful play there by the defensive back, Tanner Bernier, who got out there and knocked it down, and it's 2nd and 10.
But Mike, again, one of the things you and I have been talking about, had great success going to the flat. It's time for
Yep.
the outside man to break a little bit to the inside behind it. It'll end up almost being a pick, but that inside man's going to run right by it, and it'll
Yep.
be wide open.
Or hit the tight end up the middle, up the seam. We've talked about that more than once.
2nd and 10, 2:02 remaining in the third quarter, 13-6 Windham. Hartley back to pass, throwing, has a man, and it's incomplete. He actually had two men in the same position. It was intended for Gibson. It went over his head.
That inside man bent it outside. If he kept
Yeah.
up the seam, he'd have come open.
I think he knew it, too. After the play was over and he realized how close he was,
Yeah.
he looked at his little wristband as if to say, roll. I don't think I was in the right place.
Ran in the wrong pattern.
You see that once in a while, and sometimes it works where you've got two guys in the same position, but a lot of times it just draws that extra defensive back. So
Absolutely.
then you've got two
Yep.
receivers being covered by three defensive backs.
Well, and
Yeah.
if one guy's got somebody deep, he knows he can go for the interception.
Or
Try
you
it.
get one defensive back covering two guys they're so close together.
Hartley at the 39-yard line, waiting for the snap. Ball's at the 35, 3rd and 10.
He
Hartley
juggled.
almost lost it. He caught it. Instead, he's going to run it himself, and he's going to drag tacklers down to the 31-yard line. Gain of 4, hard-earned gain of 4, and it's going to be 4th and 6 for Edward Little.
I think it's a 4-down zone again.
Oh,
But
yeah.
again, I think that that long pass was really successful. But then now they've gone to 3 straight passes again.
Yep.
I just think you gotta put a run in there just for the heck of it to keep the other team honest, so they don't just tee off on your quarterback.
You never know when you're going to pop one either.
If you've
No,
got some,
Break a
Absolutely.
tackle and you're in the secondary.
with the athletes they've got too, I'm surprised they haven't got some type of reverse thrown in there, especially with the way Windham is over pursuing.
Even the
on
jet
everything.
sweep, I'd be happy with right now.
4th and 7, a minute 10 remaining in the third quarter. 13-6. Windham with a lead over Edward Little. Timeout taken on the field, and that'll be Edward
Oh,
Little's
boy,
second
they're going to
timeout
call
on this
another
drive.
timeout. I bet they got
avoid
the
delay
formation
game.
wrong. I bet
Probably.
they did.
Something you've seen often?
Yes.
Well, I think they got a couple guys out hurt, and I think that you
Hey, got some newbies in there.
as a
That's what
coach,
happens.
you don't want to pare your offense down so much you can't run the things you need to run against Windham. And yet, when you try to keep your whole offense, the whole package in, sometimes the newer guys maybe can't pick it up.
As you've pointed out several times, all those guys have wristbands with the plays on them. And, come on, boys. If you have them in practice,
No, that's right.
you should be able to follow along.
I mean, one of the things we tried to do was when we were running a play in practice to work on it, we used to stand away from the quarterback and signal him to play. So he had to get it from us and step back into the huddle so it'd be like the game is,
Yep.
So they get used to that.
4th and 7. 3 receivers to the left. Yarnovich in the backfield. Hartley in the shotgun. Back to pass, looking. He has a man, and that's going to be complete as long as he held on to it. And he's fighting, and I don't know if they're going to give him the spot.
I think up there, I think
they
he
did.
did.
I think they gave him
it's
the spot.
darn close.
That was very, very close because it took him a little while to
23.
grab onto it.
Get it
and
under
that
control.
That was Noah Mooreshead, which is really good that we got Mooreshead's name right because the number 23 wasn't on the roster. I had to go down and get that before the game. But
Wow.
boy, that was a tough one because it took him a while to he caught it, dropped it, caught it again, and then managed to get that. And they're not going to give him the spot.
They did it again. They didn't even pretend to measure, Mike.
Holy mackerel.
I don't understand that. It's right.
Why did they
monitor.
call timeout?
I
The
have
referee signaled timeout. That means it's a first down.
I have no idea. I mean, he was right on the line. And now, of course, if you ask for a measurement, it's too late. They've already
late. They
tasked
moved
it
the
in.
ball.
They do this, Matty. Now you know why we get. It drives me crazy. Why would you move the ball?
Why not bring out the chance?
Either team has they have the right for a measurement. Except you can't measure it once it's back at midfield.
1st and 10.
Jet sweep.
And that is a jet sweep, and he's going to take
24.
a pound and get out to the 30-yard line there.
Henderson.
And that was Navari Henderson. Quite an athlete. He just
Boy.
glides when he gets the
Yeah,
ball.
he's fast. But boy, again, EL comes up. What was this? The third time they've been like within, I think, measurable distance.
I do too.
And there was number 1, no measurement. Number 2, they didn't get it, and which is a shame. Boy, and it's going to bring us almost to the end of the third period.
Really is. Under 25 seconds remaining. This is probably the last play of the third period unless it's an incomplete pass. 2nd and 5. Under 20 seconds now in the third quarter.
Pistol.
13-6. Windham with the lead. Leslie back to pass. Looking, throws. Gets it downfield, and that's going to be incomplete. It was intended for Henderson. He was covered by Gibson, but it was just a little too deep. 9.7 seconds remaining in the third quarter. 3rd and 5 for Windham at the 30-yard line.
Boy, he's a weapon deep because you better be paying attention to him because he can go.
He's a weapon all over the field at
Yeah.
this point, whether you're giving it to him on the run, whether you're giving it to him on that jet sweep like you mentioned, on the draw, or in this case, throwing him downfield deep. I almost probably, instead of throwing it over the middle, might have just sent him down the sidelines because I don't think anybody can outrun him.
Yeah, and I think if the defensive back, once he turns, boy, you got to work a lot with them to make sure that they turn back inside as opposed to interfering. That's one of the things that Mike worked a lot with defensive backs is, you got to make the play with your inside hand.
Now, look when he looks.
9.7 seconds remaining in the third quarter. 3rd and 5 for Windham. The ball's at their own 30-yard line. They got to get to the 35 for a first down. Leslie's going to get to the 35, and then he's going to bust it upfield past midfield to the 40, to the 35, down to the 30, 25, and he's going to be taken out of bounds at the 21-yard line. And that was Tyler Blanchard who tracked him down. Windham fans want a penalty, but just tackled him up high. No flags.
Well, I think it was about the second guy that came in, but I think he was just trailing the play, and all of a sudden he popped right up. Oh, they did throw the flag.
Threw that really late.
Really late. I think the crowd brought that one.
I kind of want to say that too.
The officials are going to talk now.
See what they do.
Maybe they're going to pick it up.
Well, they didn't do the pickup thing where they wave it in the air like, nope, just kidding. So that was the last play of the third quarter. We'll get this sorted out.
That was a 40-yard play.
And
Dead
it's gonna be
ball,
personal
foul.
on Blanchard, so
Yep.
that'll move it half the distance to the goal line.
It was the man that came afterwards and ran into him. It was he popped up really quick, and I don't think the guy could help it.
I don't know. It was a tough
It's a
play. That's
penalty.
tough call. What are
No,
you
it
gonna
was a
do?
penalty.
So 13-6, Windham leads at the end of 3/4 of play. We will take a break. It's Central Maine Community College Hammond Lumber Game of the Week.
You know, Mike, you add in those 3 plays that were, I call them measurable, but let's even say they were close, though. If those had all been first downs, this could very well be a different ballgame.
Oh, you aren't kidding, it could be.
You know, I'm not sure this one they deserved the first down because the kid bobbled it and barely caught it, but still, he was right on the marker. And if 3 of those are first downs, this could very well be a different game. Although, if EL isn't going to run the ball at all, it's going to be difficult for them to score because eventually they're going to get the ball picked off.
Yeah. Well, I know it sounds like we're beating a dead horse, but we've talked about
We beat 'em
that
before.
measurement thing many times before. And if nothing more, bring the ball back out to the hash mark and mark it properly. You can't eyeball that when it's on the sideline as to where it's supposed to be on the hash mark. I mean, it's just common sense, for crying out loud. And you don't have to worry about delay of game or anything like that. Get it right.
Ball is on the 10-yard line. First and goal.
Start of the 4th quarter here. Central Maine Community College Hammond Lumber Game of the Week. Ball is at the 10-yard line for Windham. First and goal from the 10. Leslie in the shotgun. He's going to run it himself up the middle, and he's going to get into the end zone. Touchdown,
Boy,
Eagles.
oh boy.
I think they found a weak spot all of a
I
sudden.
think they did too. That's twice in a row.
You know, we've said they haven't been able to run inside at all, and suddenly 2 plays in a row. All you want.
That's going to make it 19-6 with 11:56 remaining here in the 4th quarter. Windham with the lead over Edward Little. Medina is going to come in to kick the extra point.
Point after. Blankhauser hold him.
Hauser will hold. Snap down, kick is up, and it is good. 20-6, Windham with the lead. We will take a 30-second break. We'll be right back on the Central Maine Community College Hammond Lumber Game of the Week.
Wow, I mean, game of inches. You know, three plays that could have been first downs, but they weren't, and 3 long touchdowns, and this game is quickly slipping away. Winthrop 29, Oak Hill 22.
Oh boy.
Mascot tonight.
It's a slugfest, huh?
Our wonderful cheerleader. Your hard work and dedication throughout this season.
Turnover by Oak Hill turned into a touchdown. It doesn't say exactly what happened, but
Mount Blue with a 6-3 lead over Gardner with 3:47 remaining in the 3rd.
wow, that's
Two
better.
undefeated. I mean,
Indeed.
2 no win teams.
Winless?
Winless.
Yeah, somebody's got to score one.
Somebody does. Welcome back on the radio side of things. Central Maine Community College Hammond Lumber Game of the Week on Maine's Big Z, 105.5 AM 1240. Also on ESPN 101.5 and 970 WZAN down in Portland for all you Windham listeners. 20-6, Windham with the lead over Edward Little. 11:56 remaining in the 4th quarter.
And Moore's Head.
Medina will kick off. Blanchard back deep. Also, Mooreshead back there as well. They're at the 10. Windham kicking left to right on your radio dial. They'll kick it, and it'll be Mooreshead who picks it up at the 15, to the 20, to the 25, down the sidelines. And they'll mark him out at the 31-yard line.
I've got some cousins that spelled my name that way, and they would say Mooreshead.
Really? See, I had 3
Yeah,
people
so-
tell me different things on the other way, so I'm trying
Oh,
to go with
whatever
Mooreshead.
that's what you heard. If that, maybe that's
Yeah.
what how they say it here.
Well, first somebody tried to get me to ask somebody else, and then somebody else jumped in, and they're like, "Oh no, I can tell you that name," and I'm like, "Thank you very much."
Well, as I've said before, Mike, a big series for EL. They need to They need to get a drive going, if nothing else, to give themselves some confidence and see what it is that they feel they can.
This is a big series for them.
Yeah.
Right here.
Because they've moved the ball pretty consistently
Yes,
most
they
of the
have.
night. I think they've put a lot of pressure on Hartley, expecting him to do it alone.
Don't forget to put the ball in the flat, and don't forget to get up the seam.
Hartley back to pass, looks, he
There we
gets it
are.
out to Blanchard, out past the 35, out to the
In the flat.
37-yard line, and look at that.
Good.
I guess they're listening to you, Coach.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and I think
sure.
again, and I think if on that little pattern, if Gibson on that formation cuts back inside with a little skinny post or whatever, I think
what I
that would be
mean.
open also.
Yeah.
Still plenty of time left in this one. Edward Little has definitely moved the ball. They just haven't gotten into the end zone as much as they would like. They've had 3 red zone turnovers before scoring on their last drive. It's 20-6. Windham with the lead here early in the fourth quarter. Hartley back to pass. Rolls out, throws deep.
Oh, boy.
He's looking for Gibson, and that'll be down the sidelines incomplete.
Boy, he can throw the ball.
Yes, he can, boy.
Henderson had the coverage. He did, and the one thing he did there, he threw that towards the sideline, so the only person that was going to have a chance at that was Gibson. That's so underrated, especially at this level where a lot of times kids can't control where it's going, but in that situation, he's saying, okay, I'll let the receiver make a play and not put it at risk for a turnover.
Yeah, perfect.
Throw the ball where only your man can catch it.
11:09 remaining in the fourth quarter. It's 3rd and 6. Ball's on the 37-yard line for Edward Little. They're going right to left on your radio dial. Hartley back to pass. He's under pressure. A couple of Windham guys lost their footing. Instead, Hartley's going to get down the sidelines, and he's going to get out and step out of bounds at the 46-yard line. More than enough for a first down. I guess, do you give the assist to the turf there?
I don't know,
For
but nice
tackling
scramble
Windham
around the
players?
outside. That was perfect. You know, he rolled away from it and ran up the sideline, used his speed, didn't try to take on the tackler, and got out of bounds. Saved the
Key,
clock.
get out of bounds.
Stop the clock also.
Really looked like he was going to get swallowed up there in the backfield, but he managed to turn the corner and get right down the sideline.
5 first downs for Edward Little.
11 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Hartley back to pass, throws it behind the intended receiver, incomplete. That was intended for number 15. That was Weaver.
Yeah, like I said, quarterback's worst friend is pressure right in your face. It's people make it look easy. I can remember when Bump Abbey was my high school coach, and one of the linemen complained about something that I'd thrown for a pass, and he said, hold it, come back here. Okay. And they put guys in his face, and he's looking around like, I can't see those receivers. He said, exactly.
2nd and 10.
There it is.
Hartley back to pass, ducks one, and then he's going to throw it out.
Oh,
in the
nice
flat,
touch.
And what a nice play there.
Boy.
And a nice catch for a first down. That was to Yarnovich. Beautiful throw, beautiful catch.
That's
first down, Eddies.
Tremendous patience and touch by Hartley. He was under pressure. He rolled. He could see that the defender had him covered, so he just tossed it over and down in. That's a tough pass for a quarterback to throw.
Dropped it right in the bucket.
Because otherwise you either overthrow it or you underthrow it. If he underthrows, it's a touchdown the other way.
Clock continues to run now. 10:40 remaining in the fourth quarter. Ball's at the 41. Hartley back to pass. Throws a rocket. Goes through the hands of Gibson and then almost had a chance there. Henderson had a chance of picking it off, but it was thrown behind him, incomplete.
Mike, we were asking for an in cut. Now both guys broke in.
Yeah, I know.
They really are listening to you guys. I really think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure
well,
they are.
we would have liked to outcut at the same time.
Yeah, they get the transistor right in their helmet.
Yeah,
They're
really.
listening to us.
Should we start giving hand signals, you think? or-
Maybe you guys should hold up those signs.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
right.
really?
Pictures on them. 10:34 remaining in the.
Who did you say? Mr. Frog drinking coffee? Is
Yeah,
that
yeah,
what-
Kermit the Frog drinking coffee. Hartley back to pass on 2nd and 10, and that pass is going to be batted away incomplete.
Almost intercepted.
Well, the hard part again, when you're the quarterback here, the other team knows you're going to throw the ball.
Yeah.
You're down 20-6. You need a quick score here. You're throwing on every down. You haven't even pretended to run the ball this half, and since the very first series, and so They're covering receivers all over the place. They've got 2 deep, and they're covering underneath. And
6 passes in this sequence.
And keep in mind, the only run that they've really, had a big play on was the Hartley run that
Yes.
was off of a
7
broken pass play.
7 play drive, 6 of them in passes.
3rd and 10. Handoff,
That's
Peter
a run.
Yarnovich, and that'll get up to the 41-yard line. That'll move the clock, but it'll set up 4th down, 4th and long.
again, I think they were hoping they could pop that.
Yeah.
And he really was 1 tackle away from popping it, but he didn't get through. They're going to bring on the punting unit, it looks like. Or Hartley's going to go deep, I guess. See that? Oh, yeah, that's right. He is the punter.
Hartley is the punter.
Hey, they haven't punted today. Have they?
Nope.
I don't think
they
so.
have.
Oh, yeah, they
wait.
did. Yeah, they did.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, they did once.
Yeah.
First quarter.
1,
Because that was another thing they've had trouble with. They've had a couple blocked early in the
2.
year.
They've had 2 punts this half.
Now they're going to do some shifting and some shenanigans here. Back to pass.
Oh, it's a
Hartley
fake.
with a fake. He's
Oh,
going
he
to throw
got
it deep.
he got
and
hit. Oh.
Incomplete.
Oh, and a
And
flag.
you're going to get a pass interference, and that
Boy.
is not going to make the Windham fans very happy.
Hartley
It was intended
got-
for Brushwine, and
Hartley got cracked.
whew,
That's it.
you got multiple fouls here. You got one down by the end zone. You got one back by the quarterback, and
Ooh, could be roughing the passer. He took a pretty good hit.
That's what you get, though, when you have a quarterback as your punter. You never know when it's
Oh,
going to
yeah.
be.
Yep.
You know?
You used to beg for your quarterback to be the punter, really.
Yep.
9:36
Okay,
remaining in
here's
the
a
fourth
signal.
quarter.
Illegal procedure, EL, and pass interference, so it offsets, so do it again.
Oh, boy.
Goodness gracious.
But again, they're crazy. Otherwise, they'd have a first down. Frustrating.
I don't know if they're going to have any toes left because they keep shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, really.
9:36 remaining in the fourth
They're
quarter.
certainly on the other foot right now.
4th and 9 from the 41.
Better get out there, boys. They did. They made an adjustment.
And they got set. And they're still going to throw the flag. Pass is incomplete out on the sidelines, and they still throw the flag. I don't know if they threw it for the illegal procedure again or not, but we'll see. Or do they call delay a game?
There's a flag on the play.
Oh, no, delay a game. It's got to stop before it
Well,
starts.
that's what I thought too, but he put his hands together like it
No,
was delay a game.
I think it might have been holding. No,
No,
illegal
procedure.
procedure.
Declined. First
Declined.
down.
And
First
that'll
down.
be first down for Windham at the 41-yard line, their own 41-yard line. 9:31 remaining in the fourth quarter, and I wouldn't be shocked here if they start running the clock a little bit. Leading 20-6.
You know, Mike, seems to me if I ran something off the fake punt with my quarterback, I had him way back, like he was actually way back in punting. I think they had Hartley up fairly
Yeah, a little
close.
too close. Yeah.
And it gives you a little bit more room to operate and a little bit more time.
Yeah, you got to make it look like it's
The real McCoy.
a punt. 12 yards.
Henderson flanked out to the wide right. Leslie in the backfield in the shotgun. He's going to run it himself up the middle. He's going to dance. He's going to shuffle, and then he's going to lose his footing after a gain of 2. 2nd and 8.
But again, I think that's exactly what Windham wants to do. They want to try to run the clock now, get a couple first downs, see if they can get this down under 6, maybe 5 minutes, and put EL in a hole where they already know they're going to throw the ball. So, and a game of breaks and inches. 3 first downs. It didn't quite go. 2 long pass plays by Windham and a long run by their quarterback, and this is a much different game.
Well, and you also had that, the opening play of the game.
Oh, yeah, with a penalty. Yeah, crazy. It was a
That
touchdown.
callback a touchdown. Handoff.
Oh,
Hauser.
wide open.
He's going to find some yardage, and he's going to get into Edward Little territory, down to the 42-yard line. 6 plus 8, that's a gain of 14.
Hey, yeah, pretty
First
good
down.
math, huh?
Just-
Haley and I have to use our toes for those.
Yeah, well, I should have worn sandals tonight, but then I realized I wanted to feel my toes.
Yeah, when it
So
was
that
over, right?
Yeah. This is the late point in the game where you make that decision. You're like, oh, yeah, I'm wearing shorts. What am I doing that for again?
Yeah. You notice I've got my jeans on tonight. I usually wear shorts.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll be wearing these until probably November, unless it gets really bad.
Seems to me. Did you have them for the state game one of those
Oh,
years?
yeah.
One of the warm days?
Multiple
Yeah.
times. Multiple. First and 10. Leslie's going to keep it himself. He'll fall forward to the 40 for a gain of 2. Second and 8. Clock continues to tick with 8:11 remaining in the fourth quarter. 20-6. Windham with a lead over EL.
When my son was a senior in high school, he got hurt in at preseason football camp at Bates, hurt his knee. So he had an immobilizer on, so he had to wear shorts. He said, that's it. I'm going to have him wear shorts every day this year. He wore shorts every day to school, all year long.
I know of kids that do that.
Some days he didn't feel his legs, but he wore the shorts.
No, he used to have 8 layers on his top, but but just shorts. Oh, yeah, sure. Oh, little trap action inside. They're going to pick up
Well, EL
3 or
had
4.
all of their defensive front standing that time.
I call that the ghost defense. Everybody's just kind of running around. You can't tell who to block. And
That'll make it third down to 35. Third and 3, 7:10 remaining in the fourth quarter.
you know, Mike, other than those long pass plays and the one run, I mean, it's hard. You know, now you're saying the 3 long plays, but you know, he always played decent defense tonight.
Yes.
Now it's easy to say take away 3 long plays.
Now they're
but-
all down.
Yeah. Oh, deep drop.
Leslie back to pass. That's going to be complete, but it's going to be
Nice.
short of the first down. Nice open field tackle there by Yarnovich.
Boy, gave him
They'll
a
go
nice
for
spot.
it.
Of course they'll go for it, but there was still a good open field tackle there. That was,
Gave him a nice spot on that one.
that was a
Yeah.
nice catch by Tanner Bernier, but he couldn't fall forward for the first down.
Fourth and 1.
6:25 remaining in the fourth quarter. Clock is ticking. 4th and 1. Expecting another Leslie keeper.
They're really crowding the line of scrimmage now.
Yeah, they got 8 in the box there.
Yeah.
Boom. Oh,
Leslie's gonna get that
outside.
first
He's
down.
got a
gonna
block.
bounce it, and
Oh,
he's
nice
gonna
move,
high
man.
step, 10-5,
Wow, so-
touchdown Eagles.
So much for his thigh being sore. Wow, he just jetted right by that defender. That was big time run there.
40-yarder.
You know, I don't understand why didn't they run the ball? They didn't run the ball till just now. The last 2 series, the first time they'd run the ball. Why?
Well, they figured out real quick.
I've always
it was
felt that
working.
was their strength. No, I think Mike said that I think they felt they could throw the ball on EL. And, wow, their running attack has been good all year.
6:02 remaining in the fourth quarter, 26-6, and Medina in to kick the extra point with a call false start. That'll move the kick back 5 yards.
So 2 TDs by Desmond Leslie and 2 TDs by Hauser.
Yep.
So
Pretty much how that works. 26-6, Windham over EL, 6:02 remaining in the fourth quarter. Medina back at the 15 to kick the extra point. Blake Hauser, the holder. Kick is up, and
Good kick.
It's good.
again, I think that this game's been a little closer than the score would indicate. Although that's what happens when you haven't won lately, and you get down quick, and then it's a struggle, and you make a couple mistakes, and you're down big.
Yep.
6:02 remaining in the fourth quarter. It's the Central Maine Community College Hammond Lumber Game of the Week. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
You know, Mike, the game against Portland, it was 14-14 at halftime, and EL really had outplayed them in the first half, and bang, they had that tipped play that went for the long touchdown pass, and then the route was on, 40-14.
Yep, that's all it takes. Momentum can swing so easily.
This is a spot you hate being a quarterback, even though you like to throw the ball, because everybody in the place
You
knows
know
you're
they're going
throwing
to
it.
tee off on you. They're going to tee off.
Welcome back here. Central Maine Community College Hammond Lumber Game of the Week. 6:02 remaining in the fourth quarter. Windham has opened up a 27-6 lead over Edward Little. Matt Beltwell, Dave Wing, Mike Haley on the call for you here. Kickoff down the sidelines and return out to the 34-yard line.
Mooney on the return.
And that was number 14, Kyle Mooney.
You know,
Lots of guys getting into the book here for Edward Little with all the injuries to the running backs.
we said during the break, having been a quarterback, you love to throw the ball and whatever, but you don't like to be down with this score and this point in the game because everybody in the place, including Grammy and Grampy on the other team, know you're going to throw the ball. So that's not good.
1st and 10 at the 33-yard line. Windham Edward Little going right to left on your radio now. Hartley back to pass, throws, and that'll be incomplete. Stops the clock at 5:55 remaining in the fourth quarter. Intended for not for Blanchard. That was intended for number 20, Jendell, it looked like.
Pass intended to
Terrell Thomas.
is incomplete. Second down.
You know, it's too bad because ER's got a good throwing quarterback. They got 2 or 3 pretty good receivers. They really need that really good running back, and because he's hurt right now.
A couple of them. They're down to their 3rd-string running back, I believe, because Pelletier got injured earlier.
Right.
2nd and 10. Send Thomas in motion. And we'll get out to Thomas, and he'll get it out to the 34-yard line, gain of 1, and good open field tackle there by Kyle Hauser to keep Thomas from busting loose.
Excellent. And, you know, again, Hartley was under some duress, and he threw the ball going to the left. That's the hard pass for the quarterback, and it was right on the money.
And he got in his face again.
Yeah.
Ball at the 34-yard line. Clock ticking. 5:25 remaining in the fourth quarter on the Central Maine Community College Hammond Lumber Game of the Week. Hartley back to pass. We're in the shotgun. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. He looks out to the right. Fakes it. Now under pressure.
Backside.
He is going to go down.
62.
Nice play there. Looked like Connor Harrison with the sack.
But again, Mike, the shortest pass pattern was 14 yards.
Yep.
You know, it's just expecting him to throw it way down the field. That's tough.
Edward Little is going to punt it here. It looks like they're bringing up the whole punting unit. And with 4:40 remaining, Windham's going to look to keep this to the end of the ball game, leading 27-6.
Yeah, we got a new punter. We got quite a few new faces in there.
I don't think they're faking it here, guys. And now you got another illegal procedure false start here. I don't know if there's not enough people at the line or an illegal substitution.
No, they had illegal substitution. That is. Ah, boy.
When it rains, it pours.
Yep.
Well, one of the most difficult things, if you're going to put a whole bunch of kids in all at once, I'm not sure they did. Boy, you got to get them organized on the side before you try to put them all in at once. Watch out, Mike, there's no chair behind you.
Yep.
I didn't think he was going to sit on it, actually.
No, I just want to make sure he knew.
It's a good thing you did.
Oh, boy.
I felt bad. Kick is away, almost blocked. Hauser falls on it at the 43-yard line of Edward Little.
Good field position for Windham again.
Very good field position for Windham. It's amazing how that field position battle has swung over.
Yeah, it was all the other way early.
Does this remind you of the Edward Little-Portland game a little bit? Where Edward Little had chances in the first half and just faded off in the second?
They drove right down just before the half and tied it 14-14, and we said, wow, we're going to see a second half. And there was the Portland quarterback threw the ball over the middle. It was tipped. Might have been intercepted, but it was a little high, and it went right to the Portland receiver. He ran 50-something yards, and seriously, it was like a dagger to the heart. The game was over, 40-14.
That's Hauser up the middle to the 41, gain of 1. That was Kyle Hauser on that run. You got to specify which Hauser.
That's correct.
There's Kyle and Blake. Kyle is number 9. Blake is number 11. Set up 2nd and 9, and Windham at this point just happy to keep the clock running. Only one time out here for Edward Little. I don't think they're going to be taking it anytime soon.
I wouldn't think so.
Under 4 minutes remaining, and Leslie will make sure to take as much time as humanly possible. And I would not expect them to throw it in the air unless they absolutely had to here either.
Well, you never know.
You never know. 27-6, Windham with the lead. And handoff will go nowhere. In fact, he'll actually lose a couple, and that will be Hauser. Kyle Hauser got stopped back.
It's funny. I have a feeling about this. 27-6. I don't think you have either of the Hausers or a Leslie in there at this stage. I just think you're taking an opportunity to get one of them have a twisted ankle and miss 2 weeks, and you don't need that. Another score isn't going to do him any good. That's a personal bias on my part, mind you. But
Third and 11.
Makes sense.
Leslie back to pass, looking, has a man, and it's incomplete. That was intended for Nate Watson, but it was underthrown. Stops the clock with 2:53 remaining in the fourth quarter. And that's the painful part there, guys. If you're Windham, you're looking to ice this clock out. You throw that pass low, and it stops the clock. So instead of burning off about another 40 to 50 seconds, instead, clock stops at 2:53 remaining.
Oh, sure. By the time you kick it and the possession changes, you've done at least that.
Clock is not running.
You know, he and I have talked about that a lot since we've been doing games. Is how do you get those other kids in and get them some playing experience so that they're not brand new another year.
Kick is away by Hauser. Blanchard is back deep. He's going to let it bounce. He'll field it inside the 5, and then he'll run it back. And went to cut it back at the 18-yard line. And this is the time of night where it gets pretty
greasy,
pretty dewy out there, I guess you could say. With all apologies to Dwight Evans. And when he went to cut back, he hit the deck.
And we're seeing some kids trying to stretch their toes out and their calves and whatever. This is the kind of time when it's a little chilly and the ground's wet and whatever, you start to get those cramps in the calves. Boy, you got to hydrate, hydrate, hydrate.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're not going to have to wait long on traffic because the Windham fan base clearing out here with a 27-6 lead.
Are you saying they've lit up the cigar on this one?
I would say that they have Red Auerbach this one, my friend. First and 10 for Edward Little. Trailing 27-6, 2:43 remaining in the fourth quarter. Hartley in shotgun, hands it off to Blanchard. He's going to run it and get the clock with under 2:40 to go. And it looks like Coach Sterling happy to get out of here with what he's got left for healthy players as they're now down to their third string running back. As Max Bell left early due to injury, which was a huge loss for them because Bell's a big play running back. They also lost Pelletier, so Yarnovich taking most of the snaps in the backfield in the running back position. Second and 10. 2:10 remaining in the fourth quarter. They got Blanchard back there behind Hartley. Hartley will hand it off to Blanchard, and he'll get stacked up back at the 13-yard line. It'll be a loss on the play, and it'll be fourth and long. Minute 45 remaining, and the clock ticking.
Third and long.
Third and 16, it looks like.
Yep.
14-yard line.
EL wearing the pink socks tonight. The Dempsey Challenge, which is happening this weekend. Make sure you stay tuned for road closures on that if you're up in the Lewiston-Auburn area. Minute 15 remaining, third and 14. Hartley back to pass and fakes it one way, then goes the other, and he's going to run it with his left hand, and he's going to run out of bounds at the 13-yard line.
His receiver fell down, and then when he turned to go this way, there was no receiver here, and so he ended up having to run with it.
Discretion,
And
the better part of valor.
No question, get out of bounds. They're not going to win this game. For him to get hurt, trying to gain an extra 5 yards isn't going to help him.
I'm surprised he didn't just slide down there instead of running out of bounds.
Probably would have got a penalty. You know, a lot of people aren't used to seeing that guy slide.
Punt is away. Hauser will field it at the 39-yard line. Calls for the fair catch. 1 minute remaining, and all that's left at this point will be for Windham to take a couple of knees and send everybody home.
First and 10 Windham.
Well, it's a hard-earned victory for them. You know, I didn't think that they looked particularly sharp tonight, Mike.
No.
There were a lot of penalties. I think EL moved the ball on them very well, but just couldn't seem to put it in the end zone and capitalize. And they came up with 4 big plays,
Yep.
and that was the ball game, plain and
Yep.
simple.
That's really what it was, too, because 13-6 coming into the second half, and it looked like Edward Little was going to get back into it, and then turnovers, penalties, and turnovers.
And they
That'll
came up
happen.
short on those couple of first downs, like under a yard, and that was the ball game.
And knee will be taken. That is not Leslie taking that knee. That is Anthony Guglielza, who's stepping in, the freshman quarterback. And that'll wind us down. And one more play for Windham here, and that will wrap it up. And then we will take a break, and then we'll have the post-game show. And then we'll wrap it up.
I'm assuming that Tyler's still up on the roof.
He is. He looks like he's still able to move, which is key.
Is he dressed warm enough?
He did. 25 seconds remaining. Clock is moving. Snap is down, knee is down, and that will be the final play of the ball game. Windham pulls away in the second half. It was 13-6 at the half. They win 27-6. We will take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Central Maine Community College Hammond Lumber Game of the Week on Maine's Big Z, 105.5 at AM 1240. Also, ESPN 101.5 WZAN, online at mbr.org. We'll be back in 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Yeah, I feel bad. They, was a little bit snake bitten. They've had some injuries. I happen to think that they're expecting a lot of Hartley.
I do too.
To carry them.
Yep.
I mean, I know guys are hurt, but I mean, he must have thrown it. We didn't keep track. He must have thrown it
I'm
40 something times.
pretty close to it.
And it's going to be hard to beat teams doing that, I think. Remember the old days where the cheerleaders wore a heavy sweater and a skirt?
Yeah.
This is so much better
they're
for
like in a
keeping
snowsuit,
warm and
yeah. Oh, boy, I'd be in a snowsuit, too, in weather like this.
I
I don't blame them at all. Not even a little.
Snowmobile suit would be great.
Oh, you're telling me. What are we going to do when it's actually winter?
I know, it hasn't been. Well, we wouldn't be standing out here doing this probably.
Probably not.
Even in the ice rink, it's cold, but it's not that kind of cold.
Right. Then your final 27-6, Windham beats Edward Little. That'll wrap it up on the video stream side of things. We will catch you on the radio side of things in just a few minutes. You've been listening to the Game of the Week on Maine's Big Z, also on ESPN 101.5 970 with video